The golden white artifact in front of Yi Ling blocked the attack, starting to show cracks. He exclaimed, "How is this possible? This divine armor can even block a blow from the Holy Realm." Brother Gue said, "I didn't expect the forbidden demonic art to be this terrifying." Gu Changa said, "So this is your trump card? Let me see how long you can hold on." When the divine armor completely shattered, Yi Ling couldn't help but shout loudly, "Old man! Heavenly Lord! Quickly send the Heavenly Lord to save me! Heavenly Lord, I am your successor, quickly save me! Heavenly Lord!" The brother Gue in the treasure also kept shouting, "Master!" Gu Changa flew over. Yi Ling was horrified, tears streaming down his face as he screamed, "Heavenly Lord!" His eyes glowed with blood-red light. Trash! Then, a force counterattacked Gu Changa. It forced him to retreat. Yin Mi said, "The reincarnation ancient Heavenly Lord." Yi Ling shouted in joy, "Master, great! We're safe." The Heavenly Lord stood in front with a dignified expression and said, "Little brat, you have truly disappointed me." The Heavenly Lord had half black, half white hair, and his hands also showed the same half and half color. A golden belt engraved with a Bagua symbol was tied around his waist. The brother Gue in the treasure shouted, "Master!" Yin Mi thought from behind, "Is this the reincarnation Heavenly Lord?" Gu Changa laughed, "Heavenly Lord, unfortunately, it's just a wisp of a phantom soul." The Heavenly Lord's face was full of anger as he shouted, "Humph, Junior, you dare to underestimate me?" He instantly released an overwhelming force. The pressure caused Yin Mi to weakly kneel to the ground. The pressure is too strong. Gu Changa is truly ignorant, daring to provoke my master. Today, this will be your burial ground. Yin Mi screamed in pain, "Master! Master!" Gu Changa said with a solemn expression, "You're about to die, stop talking." He tightly grasped the 8 desolate demon spear and said, "I'll send you on your way in front of your master." Then, Gu Changa used the fortune contest card. The 8 desolate demon spear began to release a powerful force. The Heavenly Lord stood within the formation and said, "Childish tricks." But unexpectedly, countless purple chains wrapped around the Heavenly Lord. The Heavenly Lord thought, "How did I not expect that this could temporarily seal me?" The demonic aura surrounded Yi Ling, causing him to scream in terror, "Master! Master, save me! I don't want to die. I'm not willing. I haven't reached the peak yet. Ah! Ah!" He screamed in pain. Then, nothing was left, only a piece of armor and a magical artifact remained. The Heavenly Lord angrily said, "This junior dares to kill my disciple in front of me? You are seeking death." He broke free from the purple chains and instantly appeared behind Gu Changa. Yuan Mi quickly blocked from the back, shouting, "Master, be careful." Just as the fatal blow was about to land on Yuan Mi's face, Gu Changa swiftly turned around to block it. The 8 desolate demon spear met the Heavenly Lord's attack head-on. An earth-shattering explosion erupted. Gu Changa and Yuan Mi were shaken back several meters, bursting out of the smoke. Do you understand now? In the face of absolute power, any schemes are futile. Gu Changa sneered, "Absolute power?" A treasure bottle appeared in his hand. The treasure bottle emitted purple-black smoke, mixed with thunder and lightning. Gu Changa said coldly, "Unfortunately, I've never lacked schemes." This sight made the Heavenly Lord gasp, "This is the heaven-devouring demonic art." Gu Changa pointed at the Heavenly Lord and said, "As for the so-called absolute power?" He smirked, "You can try it if you want." Red light appeared from the Heavenly Lord's black arm. A giant dragon emerged from that light. The Heavenly Lord laughed madly, "Ha ha ha. A good little brat who doesn't know his limits." He instantly flew forward and roared, "Just an immature inheritor of a demonic art, I don't even care about you." He urged the crimson giant dragon full of sharp teeth to pounce on Gu Changa. "It's just a wisp of a phantom, don't bother struggling in vain." Gu Changa's Dharma body appeared, and with one punch, the giant dragon instantly turned to nothingness. At the same time, it pushed the Heavenly Lord far away. The Heavenly Lord was sent flying and said, Demon Elephant Dharma Body. This method is indeed impressive, but don't get too excited too soon. A shout came from within the purple light, Little Turtle, Old Turtle. The magical artifact yelled, The Master is calling me. Then, the magical artifact rushed straight into the purple light. Tuanmu hurriedly reached out to grab it, but it was too late. The magical artifact charged into the depths of the purple light. Tuanmu shouted anxiously, Master, be careful. Master, I'll lend you a helping hand. But before the magical artifact could fly towards the Heavenly Lord, it was already firmly grasped by Gu Changa. Turtle Brother said, It really is the power of the void. Master, Master, save me. Gu Changa laughed, Do you think a turtle can change the course of the battle? The Heavenly Lord shouted angrily, You brat, return it to me. With a cold expression, he said, A fool's dream. The 8 desolate demon spear appeared, and the demonic energy, accompanied by countless bones, struck directly at the Heavenly Lord's power. In an instant, lightning intertwined within the purple light. The blue light and countless fragments scattered in all directions. It caused Tuanmu to be shaken back. Tuanmu gasped for breath and said, It's just a wisp of a remnant soul. If not for the support of the demonic art, this place would have collapsed long ago. In the blink of an eye, countless purple chains flew out, binding the Heavenly Lord firmly in place and lifting him before Gu Changa. The Heavenly Lord said, I didn't expect your demonic art to have reached perfection, preventing me from gathering power. The chains began to strip away the Heavenly Lord's armor, causing him to ask in confusion, What are you doing? Gu Changa coldly said, What did you want to do to the little turtle? I will do the same to you. The Heavenly Lord laughed loudly, Devour me? Ha! I didn't expect this day for myself. He closed his eyes. Forget it. In an instant, not only the 8 desolate demon spear but also the Heavenly Lord's remnant soul and many demonic energies were sucked into the treasure bottle in Gu Changa's hand. Don't worry, you won't be the last. A prompt appeared on the toolbar, Fate Contending card used successfully, gaining 5,000 Fate points, 25,000 Destiny points. The system continued to prompt, Killing the Child of Fate Yi Ling completed, gaining 3,000 Fate points, 15,000 Destiny points, triggering. The Fate points of the Child of Fate Yi Ling have been depleted, unable to obtain the Heavenly Tao's Bao Yang, the Heavenly Tao is calculating rewards. Gu Changa opened the Heavenly Tao Bao Yang and said, 40,000 Destiny points, plus 8,000 Fate points. Yi Ling truly didn't disappoint me. The toolbar prompted, Reincarnation Immortal Light X1, containing Shuangguang. Meaning reincarnation, is the power of time attribute, stepping into the original time, the way of time. Fusion. In an instant, 2 red and black elixirs fused into one. The light flew into Gu Changa's forehead. Indeed, it's a great thing, the reincarnation immortal light, this is the power to traverse the myriad realms, on the same level as void water. With this kind of power assisting, even facing the Supreme Sage becomes much easier. Ruanmi walked closer and smiled, Congratulations, Master. Gu Changa replied, Thank you for your hard work. He handed Ruanmi a pill and said, This is the antidote to the demonic worm. From today onward, you will no longer suffer from its backlash. Ruanmi said, Even without the demonic worm, in my heart, I will always belong to the Master. Gu Changa fed the pill to Ruanmi, making her cheeks flush. He said, I trust you. Thank you, Master. Follow me into the cave. In an instant, 2 beams of light flew into the main hall. Inside, there were countless magical artifacts. What are you staring at? Take it yourself. Ruanmi's eyes sparkled. Gu Changa looked at the many stars revolving around a giant pillar, thinking, Is this the core of controlling the reincarnation palace? As long as I refine this object, I can control the cave. Meanwhile, Ruanmi was looking around, glancing east and west. Gu Changa reached out for the magical artifact. Ruanmi, who was observing around, was also shocked as she noticed everything was gradually emitting light. Gu Changa thought, the power of the reincarnation Heavenly Lord is indeed extraordinary. There are weapons, magic formations, spiritual pills, ancient herbs, and even a Tao enlightenment meditation mat. I didn't expect there to be 5 puppets. These should have been left for Yiling, but now they are mine. This inheritance indeed still records the mark the ancient heavenly lord left on the immortal ancient tribe. Back then. It's a pity Yiling took it away, but I have the bridal immortal art, which is equivalent to this. Reincarnation cave, let's store it in this world. Gu Changa shouted, Wan Mi, are you ready? From afar, Wan Mi, holding a copper mirror with 7-colored light in it, said, ready. Everything instantly changed, transforming into a new world under Gu Changa's control. Now, the inheritance of the ancient reincarnation heavenly lord is in my hands. I can indeed use this identity. If Yiling's death is discovered in the future, a scapegoat will be needed. The descendant of the reincarnation heavenly lord is just right for this. After returning to the outside world, we'll say Yiling was severely injured and fled. Wan Mi, holding the copper mirror, respectfully said, understood, master. Yiling didn't die. At the crucial moment, he used a powerful trump card to escape. Gu Changa covered his face and said, no. At the crucial moment, Yiling used demonic power to severely injure me, and he was also heavily wounded, taking the chance to flee. Wan Mi happily said, I understand now, the master is so thorough in his planning. Gu Changa showed an injured expression and said, now we should reveal the truth to everyone. In a spring courtyard where a crowd had gathered, someone said, what a pity, we arrived too late, the ancient corpse has already been refined. By the way, where is Brother Gu? Many people had come to encircle and kill Yiling. Since that's the case, he must have escaped. The Scarlet Spirit Goddess said. Brother Changa had us all move together to force Yiling out. Brother Wang, look, we were also deceived by Brother Gu. Qi Ling said, it's all for the sake of all beings. Brother Changa might have gone alone to capture him. Perhaps he has already encountered Yiling. Yiling Tian smiled, I didn't expect Miss Qi Ling to understand Brother Gu so well. Could it be that you? Before he could finish, Qi Ling quickly waved her hand, Brother Yi, be careful with your words. Qi Ling thought, if there's really a close relationship with Brother Gu, then Yu Mingkong must have already wanted to take me out. The image of Brother Gu closely standing by Yu Mingkong flashed in her mind, asserting his claim. A subordinate ran to report, it's bad, young Master Changa fought with the heir of the demonic art and got injured. Everyone exclaimed, what? Qi Ling asked, is this true? Is Brother Changa alright? The subordinate replied, although young Master Changa is injured, it's not too serious. Also, the 9-tailed sky fox Yuner has already intervened to save him. Qi Ling worriedly said, it's good that he's fine, but Yiling's methods are indeed astonishing, even Brother Changa was injured. Yiling Tian asked, what about Yiling? The subordinate replied, Yiling was severely injured by young Master Changa and has escaped. His whereabouts are unknown. Black King said, I didn't expect even Brother Gu couldn't kill him. He's indeed a future threat. Everyone began discussing. I think the 9-tailed Sky Fox Yuner has always had a conflict with young Master Changa due to Bai Lai, but in the end, it was young Master Changa who saved her. A woman said, speaking of Yuner, she is after all young Master's junior, she couldn't just watch him die. As for young Master Changa, he really deserves respect. Another woman said, I always thought young Master Changa was strong and domineering, but I didn't expect him to have such a gentle side. Yuner is probably very touched. The numbers 71 and 50 appeared above their heads. A woman said, to be saved by young Master, it's really enviable. Another person replied, yes, I wonder if I were captured, would young Master Changa come to save me? Yiling Tian raised his hand and said to everyone, let's go and ask Brother Changa about Yiling so we can be prepared when we encounter him. Everyone replied, let's go. The Black Sky Eagle tribe was observing from a distance. One person said, these people want to deal with the heir of the demonic art, which gives us the chance to deal with Brother Gu. But he hasn't shown up yet. The outside world cultivators are enemies of Brother Gu. A woman with a sexy figure and angel wings on her back walked up. Isn't it the same to kill one side? One member of the dragon tribe said, it's not the same. Killing outside cultivators would upset those forces. But if it's just dealing with Brother Gu, we don't need to worry. The woman snorted coldly inside, coward. If Brother Gu doesn't show up, then I'll go find him. She licked the blood on her sharp nails and said, besides, isn't he already injured? Such an opportunity and he doesn't appreciate it. Black Ming's sister said, go ahead, if you want revenge, then go. She sneered in her heart, fool, this is the perfect chance to let you test whether Brother Gu is truly as strong as he seems. The winged woman raised her hand and said, let's go. In an instant, the entire feather tribe flew away. The scene shifted to another place, where people surrounded Brother Gu. Qi Ling asked, Brother Chang'e. Yuner also asked, how is Brother Gu? Brother Gu coughed violently and said, thank you all for your concern, this injury is nothing, I'll recover quickly. Qi Ling's subordinate said, Brother Chang'e's injury has affected his core, it might take a long time to recover. Another person said, Yi Ling's strength is indeed formidable, even Brother Chang'e suffered greatly. King said, I wanted to ask more about the battle, but since Brother Gu is so seriously injured, Brother Chang'e should just focus on recovering. Brother Gu coughed again and said, thank you for your concern, this small injury won't affect me. Cough cough. Yuner tearfully said, it's all my fault. If I hadn't trusted Yi Ling and let him threaten me with my life, Brother Gu wouldn't have been hurt. Brother Gu appeared dazed, with a pale smile at the corner of his mouth and said, Junior Sister Yuner, don't blame yourself. Although we have some conflicts, if it were anyone else facing the heir of the demonic art, I would have done the same. As he spoke, he unfolded the blood-stained handkerchief in his hand and showed it to everyone. Another person said, to be injured to this extent and still have the mood to take care of Junior Sister, truly admirable. A person with golden wings said, Brother Chang'e, please rest and recover. If the ancient immortal tribes have been causing you trouble, we will not hesitate to stop them. Qi Ling raised his hand and said, everyone, let's not disturb Senior Brother Gu Chang'e's healing here. The crowd responded in unison, Qi Ling, the celestial partner, is right. They then dispersed. Wanmi looked at the departing crowd and said, Master, you've already manipulated everyone in your palm. Gu Chang'e burned the blood-stained handkerchief and said, they're just a bunch of fools, what can they possibly see? Next, it's time for me to take action against the immortal ancient tribes. Elsewhere, Yu Mingkong's subordinates were reporting, and Yu Mingkong exclaimed in panic, what? Injured? Yu Mingkong was full of confusion, Gu Chang'e injured? Nonsense. He's probably just pretending to be a hero saving a damsel, who would fall for that? I think it's completely fake, just a bunch of people following the trend. Yu Mingkong furrowed his brows and thought, Wanmi, before, the scent on Gu Chang'e clearly belonged to that fox demon Wanmi, right? On a towering mountain peak, a crane flew by. Gu Xiener said dejectedly, De Qin, do you think Gu Chang'e's injury is true? Should I go and check on him? With his personality and abilities, if he could kill the demon sect heir, how could he have let them escape? He must have lost his fighting ability. So, the rumor is probably true, he's injured at his origin. Her expression was both unwilling and angry as she said, I'm not worried about him. I'm just afraid that if he dies, who will I seek revenge on in the future? A bird named De Qing looked at her with disdain, speechless. Just a few days ago, she obtained some divine medicine for healing, so she decided to use it to repay his life-saving grace. Then she jumped onto several injured exotic beasts and said, I really am magnanimous. A prompt popped up on the toolbar, congratulations, you have obtained hand bones, leg bones, and left hand finger bones. 3 supernal bones. Congratulations, you have obtained 2 supreme sword bones, containing the rule realm of gold and attack swordsmanship, transforming into the flower of the 2 extremes of rules. Gu Chang'e was resting when he saw the toolbar show, congratulations, the Heavenly Tao Immortal Classic has leveled up. Then, the 5 strongest members of the Black Sky Eagle tribe appeared in his palm. Gu Changa clenched his fist and said, "It's time to close the net." Gu Changa took out a magical treasure, which contained a turtle, and said, "By the way, tell me about your origins." The turtle in the magical treasure said, "Gu Changa, you dream on." Gu Changa calmly said, "This matter is not up to you." The turtle brother asked in surprise, "This? In just a few days, your control over reincarnation power has surpassed Yiling? How is that possible?" A bright red flower appeared in the magical treasure, and Gu Changa said, "Oh, it turns out to be pearl immortal medicine, but divided into 3 pieces. This is just one of them." The turtle brother stuttered, "You. Gu Changa, what do you want to do?" Gu Changa revealed a smile. After successfully refining it, a red energy beam shot straight into the sky. Radiant purple energy flowed around him, and Gu Changa said, "I didn't expect to break through to the peak of the Divine King realm, only 1 step away from the Saint realm." A subordinate said, "Master, outside the ruins, Miss Sienna requests an audience." Gu Changa asked, "Gu Sienna, how did you come here?" The subordinate said, "Miss Sienna, please come this way." These people with powerful auras are all following Gu Changa. She thought to herself, with such combat power, even in the outside world, it would be enough to easily destroy a second-tier force. From the past until now, although he has used various methods to suppress me, if he truly wanted to kill me, he probably wouldn't need to do it himself. She walked step by step up the stairs, thinking, "Gu Changa, you are still hiding something from me, aren't you?" Gu Changa said from deep within the cave. "Sienna has arrived. Did you come because you heard I was injured and wanted to see if it's true?" Gu Sienna entered and saw Gu Changa's condition. She couldn't help but exclaim, "You." Her face was pale and exhausted. Gu Changa said, "I must admit, if you want revenge, this is a good time." She snorted coldly and said, "Looks like you're seriously injured this time." Gu Changa coughed a few times and said, "What's so surprising? Even if I am injured, suppressing you, who is showing signs of resistance, is still effortless." Gu Sienna coldly said, "You think too highly of yourself. Injured like this, I'm not going to take advantage of your weakness. Don't worry, I'm just here to see if you're about to die." Gu Changa opened his dark eyes indifferently and said, "Are you pitying me?" Then he roared, his pressure directed straight at Sienna, "Gu Sienna, I haven't fallen to the point where you pity me. If you don't want me to change my mind, get out." Gu Sienna stood firm and said, "Gu Changa, stop bluffing. Your injuries have affected your origin, and continuing to use your cultivation will only make it worse." She then conjured a flower. "I have a sacred healing herb here, which is very effective for restoring the origin." She shot the flower toward Gu Changa, but he waved his hand and brushed it aside. "I don't need any kindness, especially from you. Remember, don't develop any feelings for me. Just focus on cultivating and take revenge in the future." Gu Sienna angrily said, Who has feelings for you?" She stammered as if guilty, I just don't want you to be dealt with by others, so I won't have a chance for revenge later. Stop being so full of yourself." This left Gu Changa speechless. He raised his hand and said, "Since that's the case, I'll accept this medicine as an equivalent exchange. You can take whatever you like." Gu Sienna felt happy inside, but pretended to be disdainful and said, "Gu Changa, stop humiliating people. Do you think I need these things?" The big green bird nodded constantly beside her. She then said, "Even if I gain nothing this time and end up poor, I won't take your things." She looked towards the light, and instantly, countless magical treasures appeared. This scene left her dumbfounded, with drool coming out of the corner of her mouth. Even the green bird beside her widened its eyes in amazement. Gu Changa tiredly said, "Oh, since that's the case, forget it." But as he turned his head, he saw that Gu Sienna had already tied all the magical treasures into a bundle, leaving Gu Changa speechless. Closing his eyes, he thought to himself, "Humph, little money grubber. I believe she has already planted a seed in her heart, and now, after time has nourished it, it has taken root and sprouted. Gu Xianer and the Qing bird were rummaging through the pile of magical artifacts. She said, "What's this? This one's good. This one's also a good item." The Qing bird kept calling, "Quack! Quack!" Outside, a subordinate reported, "Report. Master, a large number of ancient immortal clan feathers appear 300 miles away, it seems they are going to attack us." Gu Chang'e asked, "The Feathers clan?" He thought, it looks like it's time to build some connections. Gu Chang'e looked at Gu Xianer, seeing her stacking a pile of sparkling magical artifacts together. She slung the large pile over her shoulder and casually said, "What are you looking at me for? Do you think I'll help you?" Gu Chang'e thought, "Of course, I believe you will help." Outside, a large number of feathers from the Feathers clan rushed up, slaughtering Gu Chang'e's subordinates. One person exclaimed, "That's..." Another said, "Gu Chang'e. Finally showing yourself." Gu Chang'e appeared in the crowd. A subordinate said, "Master, the enemy is too many. You're severely injured, why not?" Gu Chang'e appeared, took out a bottle, and said, "It's fine. Let me use these sword ring fragments to help you kill the enemies." The leader of the Feathers clan sneered and said, "You are Gu Chang'e? When you killed my clan's disciples, did you ever think this day would come?" She thought to herself, tired appearance, unstable breath, even the sword rings must be used by subordinates. It seems Gu Chang'e is indeed seriously injured. She proudly raised her sharp nails and said, "Attack. Whoever brings me Gu Chang'e's head will be handsomely rewarded." A jade stone, under the magical power of the female subordinate from the Feathers clan, gradually revealed the images of everyone's long swords. The leading subordinate said, "The master's sword rings are here, but they are not scary." Everyone charged forward, shouting, "Sword array combined attack." The Feathers clan also shouted, "Kill." In the sky, a massive sword pierced through the Feathers clan's army. The leader of the Feathers clan gathered her power, concentrating it in her hands. She thought, this sword ring must be extremely precious, he can't have too many. A bronze shield appeared in her hands, with a red gem embedded in the center. She thought, Gu Chang'e is severely injured. And in this condition, if he blocks this strike, he will surely exhaust his strength, and then I can do whatever I want. The sword tip touched the shield, creating a huge explosion, causing the grass and trees to wither. Gu Chang'e's subordinates also had to raise their hands to block the shockwave. As the smoke and dust cleared, a massive shield emerged. Gu Chang'e said, "Oh, this is..." One person from the Feathers clan exclaimed, "The aura of a martial saint. It's a holy artifact." The leader of the Feathers clan raised her hand and loudly said, "Today is the best opportunity for me to make my name known across the world and increase my clan's prestige." Gu Chang'e and his subordinates quietly observed. He thought, I didn't expect her to proactively use a magic artifact. Looks like the various immortal clans have suffered terribly recently. The ancestral tomb has been continuously excavated, and the anger has reached its limit, even beginning to touch the ultimate boundary set for the outside world. This reckless behavior is bound to become the fuse for the conflict between the outside world and the immortal ancient descendants. The leader of the Feathers clan roared, "Stop that little mouse." Gu Chang'e thought, this just gives me a perfect excuse for a counterattack. I really have to thank this group of foolish Feathers clan. Gu Xianer held a long sword and smiled at the two Feathers clan subordinates. "You've got the wrong person. If you want to deal with Gu Chang'e, what does that have to do with me? I'm just passing by, just passing by," she said, facing the two Feathers clan subordinates. Gu Chang'e, that annoying guy. He must have had a plan all along. I've been worrying about his injuries for nothing. Gu Chang'e said, "Xianer, this matter has nothing to do with you. I don't need your help, leave here quickly." This startled Gu Xianer, and she angrily said, "Gu Chang'e, what nonsense are you talking? Who would help you?" The leader of the Feathers clan said, "It seems Gu Chang'e cares quite a lot about that little girl." Then she shouted loudly, "Capture her." The subordinates of the Feathers clan rushed towards Gu Xianer, making her momentarily overwhelmed. A powerful light suddenly blocked them. Gu Chang'e, holding a long sword, coughed violently and said, "You even won't spare my sister. Feathers Clan, do you want to go to war with the Changxinggu family?" The leader of the Feathers Clan thought, to use the power behind him to threaten me, it seems he's really desperate now. She sneered and said, "Gu Chang'e, you killed my clan's people and plotted against Lord Longteng, did you ever think this day would come? Everything is your own doing." Gu Chang'e said, "If it's revenge, I have nothing to say. But using a holy artifact, aren't you afraid of touching the boundary?" The leader of the Feathers Clan laughed loudly. "Boundary? Gu Chang'e, it seems you're really desperate and out of options." She continued, "Rather than wasting time here, you should think about your own future." Then she shouted loudly, "Go! Go!" All the subordinates glared angrily and swarmed forward. Gu Xian'er, still struggling, was engaged in a fierce battle with a Feathers Clan subordinate. She thought to herself, could it be that he really? Many blue, red, purple, and golden lights flew in. The newcomers shouted angrily, "Don't even think about hurting Chang'e." A powerful blue arm suddenly struck a Feathers Clan subordinate and another person. The two caught were instantly frozen and fell down. Yi Langtian said, "The immortal ancient clans are crossing the line." He continued, "A mere Feathers Clan dares to take advantage of the chaos. Chang'e Dao brother, we are here to help you repel the enemy." Gu Chang'e smiled, thinking, they arrived just in time. Gu Chang'e said, "Thank you all. With your help, the Feathers Clan's conspiracy today will likely not succeed." The leader of the Feathers Clan snorted coldly, "Humph, Gu Chang'e, even if you bring more people to help today, what difference will it make?" One person from Yilangtian's side said, "Damn it. We must report today's events to the commander and let the elders know that the immortal ancient descendants have violated the rules." The leader of the Feathers Clan interrupted, "Stop talking nonsense, attack." In an instant, all the Feathers Clan members seemed to be infused with power, their veins bulging and muscles swelling. They roared as they charged, "Do you think we are afraid of you?" A purple body appeared, and Yilangtian's side also summoned a golden body. Everyone said, "Perfect, let's use today's opportunity to destroy these immortal ancient sacred spirits." Gu Chang'e, with a sense of justice, took on the injuries for the outside world's clans. Today is the time for us to bear the heavy burden for him. Blood rain and a strong wind suddenly filled the sky, and a great battle broke out. A deafening roar sounded, and powerful light shot out in all directions. The purple body struck a direct punch to the golden body's face. The golden light remained brilliant, crashing hard into the Feathers Clan leader's shield. She sneered, "Under a holy artifact, you are nothing but ants." The golden light stirred up intense energy waves. Yi Langtian's people roared, "Ambush!" The golden light pierced through, instantly claiming many lives. She shouted, "Gu Chang'e, today you're as good as dead. Stop struggling in vain." Gu Chang'e smirked slyly, thinking, "Of course, I'll struggle to the end." He shouted, "I didn't expect you to use a holy artifact to kill the outstanding talents of the outside world. Gu Chang'e will never allow such a thing to happen." A subordinate supported him and advised, "Master, you can't. Your injuries are too severe, you can't act anymore." Gu Chang'e replied, "You and the other heroes are fighting in the front, and I'm hiding in the back. What face do I have left?" A brilliant light erupted from his body, and he shouted, "Even if my cultivation is exhausted and my primordial spirit is drained, I will never allow her to act recklessly." A powerful force exploded from Gu Chang'e's body, charging directly toward the Feathers Clan leader. Everyone around was startled and cried out, "Young Master Chang'e! Your injuries are not healed, and you're burning spiritual energy." The Feathers Clan leader sneered, "A dying effort. Using such secret methods, how long do you think you can hold on?" Gu Chang'e coldly replied, "Killing you is enough." Suddenly, he teleported behind the Feathers Clan leader. His long sword thrust directly into the holy artifact. Gu Chang'e roared, "The Feathers Clan is part of the immortal ancient. What you're doing today will cost you dearly." This sword was heavy and forceful, sending the Feathers Clan leader flying. She sneered, you actually forced back my holy artifact. Your full-strength strike is indeed powerful. If you weren't seriously injured, I might not be your match in a one-on-one fight. But she sneered again, unfortunately, I have a holy artifact in hand. My strength is far beyond this. She raised her bronze shield high, from which a massive body manifested. The Dharma body's eyes shone brightly, emitting intense golden light. The light scorched the bodies of the alien race. Everyone exclaimed, not good. Retreat quickly. The red spirit roared, damn. In the sky, a birdman Dharma manifestation appeared, accompanied by raging flames. Yi Lengtian exclaimed in shock, this power is terrifying. Another person said, the power of the sacred artifact is truly horrifying. If I had known, I wouldn't have come to join the chaos. The Dharma body formed by the sacred artifact stood tall, releasing a suffocating pressure. Gu Xianer thought with worry, where is Gu Chang'e? I think I saw him charge into the golden light just now. Suddenly, amidst the dazzling light, Gu Chang'e's voice rang out, stop. Gu Xianer watched this scene, her heart deep in thought. Someone exclaimed, I just saw Brother Gu charge into the battlefield to protect us. I'm afraid it's too late. Another person sighed and covered their face to shield from the heat of the flames, damn. The fire is too intense. I can't see anything clearly. The leader of the feather people laughed wildly, mocking, I didn't expect Gu Chang'e, this name that strikes fear into others, to actually be just a reckless fool. Ha ha ha. In the end, he's nothing but an ant trying to stop a chariot. She suddenly sensed something unusual, a purple barrier enveloping her. In fear, she thought, this is a spatial blockade. I can't use the sacred artifact. Gu Chang'e laughed, haha, actually, I should thank you. She shouted in shock, Gu Chang'e. Gu Chang'e continued, I'm going to tell the elders, if they know you relied on the sacred artifact to survive and deal with me, even if I don't make a move, they'll kill you. Without an idiot like you, how could my plan proceed smoothly? She thought in uncertainty, a plan? What plan? Could it be, you deliberately lured us into using the sacred artifact? You weren't injured at all. Gu Chang'e walked toward her slowly, saying, it seems you're not that stupid after all. She screamed, impossible. Even if you're not injured, you can't be standing here. How could a mere void god realm not be affected by a sacred artifact? Gu Chang'e released a demonic pressure and said, a mere void god realm? Her pupils constricted, and she screamed in terror, you. At the same time, Gu Chang'e sneered, why don't you take a closer look at what my realm is? She screamed in terror, you're a demon. Before she could finish speaking, Gu Chang'e slapped her face, coldly saying, a true saint. I can destroy a sacred artifact with a wave of my hand, how could I be killed by one? Gu Chang'e looked down and coldly said, you're just too naive. Her body began to crack with golden lines, and the excruciating pain made her scream, her tearful eyes reflecting Gu Chang'e's cold and heartless face. With a boom, the leader of the feather people's body exploded. Gu Chang'e said indifferently, sorry, I've never been in the habit of listening to pleas for mercy. Someone outside asked, quickly. The aura of the incarnation is dissipating. What happened? Yi Lengtian and the others said, the flames are also gradually disappearing. Someone shouted, Brother Gu, the aura of the martial tribe has disappeared. Brother Chang'e has won. Then, everyone saw Gu Chang'e sitting calmly. And someone said, as expected of a young man, even with his origin damaged, he can still suppress an enemy holding a sacred artifact. The subordinates hurriedly ran over and asked, Master, are you okay? Yi Lengtian also came over and asked, Brother Chang'e, how are your injuries? Gu Chang'e answered, it's nothing, just burned some vital energy. I won't be able to use my cultivation for a short while. One person said, it's our fault, our cultivation is too low to assist young Master Chang'e. Another woman said, yes, we're always holding Brother Gu back. Gu Chang'e chuckled lightly, TCH, no need to blame yourselves, it's my mistake for underestimating the strength of the one who inherited the demonic power, otherwise this wouldn't have happened. Yi Liuli said, damn, I didn't expect him to rely on the sacred artifact to humiliate us. Is he trying to break the agreement? Yi Lang Tian replied, this matter is not trivial. Today they dared to act against Brother Gu, tomorrow they may target all of us. The Red Spirit Lady said, everyone, send word back to the family and sect, we must make those ancient beings pay the price. The Dark King said, indeed, this matter cannot be let go like this. Gu Chang'e showed signs of fatigue and pain, sweating profusely, and said, then I'll leave it to everyone. The remaining martial tribe members scattered in all directions, shouting, Miss Wu Jing is dead. Run, send the message out. One of Gu Chang'e's subordinates glanced and said, Master, those are the remnants of the martial tribe. Gu Chang'e said, kill them. The subordinates replied in unison, yes, and immediately left. Gu Xianer sheathed her sword and thought, I knew he wouldn't be in any danger. And with the simple-minded people from the martial tribe, how could they possibly defeat him? She thought, now look at this, not only did he set me up, but he also staged a show that allowed him to rest peacefully. At this moment, she gritted her teeth and thought, Gu Xianer, just get close to Gu Chang'e and be prepared, you're probably doomed. The scene shifted to another place, where someone said, Wu Jing lost. He Ming's sister stood before the clan's people. Who asked, Miss, should we strike now? Gu Chang'e is now exhausted, it's the perfect time to attack. A snake person said, forget it, Wu Jing's actions have already angered everyone. Those outside cultivators are probably now aiming to kill Gu Chang'e. If we continue like this, it will only deepen the conflict with the outside world. He Ming's sister said, exactly, Gu Chang'e is not only strong, but also extremely cunning. We cannot be sure if he still has a trump card for self-preservation. Then she turned and said, the most urgent matter now is to think about how to deal with the outside world's retaliation. She said seriously, after all, under Gu Chang'e's guidance, the cultivators from the outside have become our enemies. Irreconcilable. I must be extremely careful in dealing with him, not letting him find any opportunity. The scene shifted to the martial tribe's main camp, where in a large hall, the elders were discussing countermeasures. One person angrily slammed the table and said, how could Wu Jing be so stupid? How dare he use a sacred artifact against Gu Chang'e? This is clearly his trap. Another person said, if the conflict escalates, won't our martial tribe become the first ancient sinners of the continent? There's no use talking about this now, Gu Chang'e has probably already planned against our ancient legacy. And the other clans won't just stand by either. Wu Jing's grandfather said, Gu Chang'e is young, but his mind is vicious, he really cannot be left alive. Let's just take action. An old woman said, no. Have you all forgotten, Gu Chang'e also has another identity, he's the successor of the celestial immortal palace. You should all know what that means. This caused all the clan's people to feel a headache. Cannot kill, cannot leave, are we of the warrior clan just supposed to lie there and let others do as they please? I don't want to bear this insult. The bald elder at the top rubbed his head. Go talk to the dragon clan. Anyway, the true dragon token is also related to them, let them handle this matter. I'm afraid that the next time, the immortal ancient continent won't be peaceful. Many opposing forces have appeared, one side is the Black Sky Ancient Eagle clan, the other side is Yi Langtian and other outsiders. A spatial portal appeared on the territory of the Sky Eagle clan. Gu Chang'e stepped out, thinking, the seeds I planted have finally come to fruition. He said, Black Ming really didn't disappoint me. A subordinate standing guard at the entrance of the Black Sky Eagle clan said, hey, I heard you were part of the punishment operation against Gu Chang'e 2 days ago, why was it cancelled? Another replied, don't mention it. Miss Nan Yu and the others were worried that Gu might have some trump cards, but unfortunately, there was no good opportunity. Gu Chang'e walked up to them, and the bald man asked, who are you? Gu Chang'e calmly answered, I am the one surnamed Gu. The green-haired person exclaimed, Gu Changa. His cold sweat fell like rain. The bald man shouted angrily, "What are you doing in our clan?" Gu Changa walked and said, "Of course, I'm here to take back what belongs to me." He pushed the two aside and said, "What belongs to me?" Black Ming's sister suddenly sensed something and said, "What? Someone has invaded our clan's territory." She stood up and shouted, "Who is so bold?" She thought to herself, could it be the successor of the ancient heavenly venerable of reincarnation? If I'm not mistaken, the heavenly venerable's successor is Yi Ling, also the inheritor of the demonic art. She said, "This person is highly skilled, whether this journey will end in fortune or disaster is still unknown." A purple evil light appeared in Black Ming's room. He said, "This feeling." He opened his eyes, excitedly saying, "That's right. This is the aura of the Supreme One." Many humans from the Black Sky Eagle clan stood in front of Gu Changa. Behind him, several corpses were sprawled on the ground. Someone shouted angrily, "You don't know your place. Gu Changa, you've gone mad." Black Ming's sister arrived last with him. She looked at Gu Changa, shocked in her heart. Gu Changa. How could it be him? How is his injury healed? Could it be that he wasn't injured at all? A man and a woman stood in front of Gu Changa, shouting, "Don't think about advancing. This is not the back garden of the Chongqing Gu family. If you disturb the ancestor, you'll regret it." Purple light flickered in Gu Changa's eyes as he said, "You really don't value your own lives." Suddenly, an elder appeared in the air and shouted, "Stop." Then he said, "You all retreat immediately." The crowd was shocked and shouted, "Elder." The elder hovered in the air and asked, "Gu Changa, what exactly is your purpose?" Gu Changa smiled and said, "I'm just here to take back what belongs to me." The elder retorted, "What thing?" Gu Changa stood with his hands behind his back and said indifferently, "Of course, the reincarnation Tao stage of the reincarnation heavenly venerable, and you Black Sky Eagles." Then, he pointed at the Black Sky Eagle clan members. The clan elder shouted angrily, "Nonsense. What are you saying?" He thought, not good. How does he know about the reincarnation Tao stage? That's a secret technique controlled by our immortal ancient clan. Gu Changa said, "Don't waste time. You're not qualified to speak with me. Tell your supreme ancestor to come out and meet me." The crowd shouted angrily, "Elder, how can we have any face as Black Sky Eagles when he is so arrogant?" Others also shouted, "We can't let the elder be insulted. He's asking for death. If we kill him, the outside world will have no say." The elder landed in front of the Black Sky Eagle clan, sneering, "Kid, you're quite bold. Where do you get the courage to speak like this?" Gu Changa's purple eyes flickered, coldly saying, "Haven't you realized? With just one thought, you will all die." Gu Changa's momentum spread out. He said, "This is my aura." Everyone was shocked and stunned, exclaiming, "This is..." The crowd screamed, feeling intense pain. Everyone thought, this feeling is like having their throat squeezed, and their heart being crushed by an invisible hand. The elder shouted angrily, "What kind of method is this?" Everyone fell to the ground in pain, screaming, "Ah! It hurts so much." The elder was terrified. It's even more terrifying than the slave seal. Gu Changa walked in front of the elder and said, "Does this matter?" The elder trembled as he raised his hand and said, "Why can you control our life and death?" However, Gu Changa took a step back, causing the elder to fall face first to the ground. "I hope you all remember one thing. From now on, I am your master." Black Ming's sister secretly thought, this method is definitely related to the slave seal. No one else but the successor of the reincarnation heavenly venerable knows about the reincarnation Tao stage. That so-called Yi Ling, the reincarnation successor, probably died already. Now, Gu Changa is manipulating the slave seal. She looked at Gu Changa, thinking, perhaps he is the true heir of the demonic art. Thinking this, Gu Changa cast a cold smile toward Black Ming's sister. Purple bloodline veins appeared on her body. Then, white light swirled and surrounded her. This confused Guchanga. A voice sounded, "Kid." A giant winged elder appeared in the sky. He shouted angrily, "How bold! You dare to be so arrogant! Do you still have any regard for us old fools?" The crowd shouted in unison, "Ancestor! It's the ancestor!" A clan member excitedly said, "The supreme ancestor is here to save us." As the bone smoke dissipated, an old face appeared. Guchanga said indifferently, "Finally willing to show your face. Black Sky Eagle clan's ancestor. You're just a bigger ant." The ancestor roared, "What an arrogant boy. Do you think just because you defeated Wu Jinglongteng from the younger generation, you can do whatever you want?" However, the ancestor's eyes also glowed purple, and she coldly said, "Today, I'll teach you a lesson." Meanwhile, Guchanga's gaze became sharp as he said, "Get down." In an instant, Guchanga's power enveloped the ancestor, causing her to scream in pain. The purple chains struck her fiercely, forcing her to the ground, unable to rise, while a group of juniors exclaimed, "Ancestor." Black Ming's sister was shocked as she thought, "I didn't expect even the ancestor of the clan to be suppressed by him." Another person cried out, "How is this possible? The ancestor is a quasi-supreme." Black Ming was stunned in his heart. Where did this guy come from? Why does he have the aura of an existence above all? Suddenly, a deep blue light swiftly approached, accompanied by frantic shouts, "Please show mercy." The Grand Elder of the Black Sky Eagle clan flew over and hurriedly said, "Young Master Gu, please calm down. I am the clan's ancestor's elder, here to invite you for a discussion." The crowd roared in anger. He dared to enter our clan's territory and kill our Black Sky Eagle disciples. "Please, ancestor, punish him." The Grand Elder shouted angrily, "Shut up. You blind fools. If young Master Gu wanted to kill you, you would have been dead already." He thought to himself, "This Gu Changa is pretending to be weak while hiding deep strategies. Even I, far away in the main hall, feel wary." Gu Changa calmly closed his eyes and said, "Humph, I like smart people, lead the way." Then, the Grand Elder extended his hand and invited, "Please, young Master Gu, follow me." The clan members were shaken, even the ancestor is finished. The scene shifted to the Sky Eagle Hall, where the Grand Elder respectfully said, "Young Master Gu, please take a seat." Gu Changa walked straight to the highest seat and sat down. The ancestor felt resentment in her heart. "I am at least a quasi-supreme, yet he suppressed me in an instant." She barely calmed herself and said, "Yenyu, quickly serve tea to young Master Gu." A beautiful woman respectfully replied, "Yes, ancestor." Yenyu served the tea and softly said, "Master, please enjoy your tea." Gu Changa casually asked, "What is your name?" Yenyu respectfully answered, replying to the master, "I am Yenyu of the Black Sky Eagle clan." Gu Changa took a slight sip of tea and smiled faintly, "Not bad, you are also a smart person, with a limitless future." Below, the subordinates were angry. "A mere outsider dares to make our clan bow down. How could the ancestor suffer such humiliation?" Then, everyone shouted in unison, "We pay our respects to the master." A young man in golden armor cursed inwardly, "Damn. Yenyu is a warrior of the Black Sky Eagle clan, how is she serving tea here?" Gu Changa put down the teacup and said coldly, "I know, some of you hate me and just want to kill me." After saying that, he raised his hand and pointed at the young man in golden armor. "You." He then pointed at a red-haired woman. "And you." A middle-aged man's face changed suddenly, and blood began pouring from his 7 orifices. Then, the 3 of them were blasted away instantly and died on the spot. Gu Changa said coldly, "I hope you remember, anyone with rebellious thoughts will only have one outcome, death." The crowd quickly knelt and shouted, "Master, please calm your anger. We beg for mercy. Our clan is willing to submit." Gu Changa slightly nodded and said, But don't worry. I, Gu, am gentle by nature and don't actually enjoy killing." He stood up and Looked around, as long as you are loyal and assist me in annexing all clans, dominating the immortal ancient, it is not impossible. The subordinates below shouted in unison, "Thank you, Master. We will obey your orders." The scene shifted to another place, on a high mountain where lightning flashed and blood-colored clouds surrounded, as Gu Chang'e walked ahead with Yan Yu closely following. Gu Chang'e called out to He Yan Yu, and she replied, "Master." Gu Chang'e said, "You have some spiritual talent. From now on, help me gather the remaining heavenly pride essence from the other tribes." When I mentioned the heavenly pride essence, she thought, could it be that he wants to close the path to the immortal ancient continent again after this chaos? Gu Chang'e said, "It will become the best nurturing environment." His expression was deep, leaving Yan Yu behind speechless. She lowered her head, cupping her hands, and said, "Please rest assured, Master. Yan Yu will do her best." Both stood at the mountain peak. Yan Yu said, "Master, this is the location of the reincarnation Dao platform. Normally, only elders with high cultivation can come here to comprehend the profound rules of reincarnation." Gu Chang'e smiled and said, "Reincarnation Dao platform." He thought to himself, indeed, there is reincarnation power here. He then opened a bottle, which instantly flew inside. Yan Yu exclaimed, "It's been released. This is the first time I've seen the reincarnation Dao platform so clearly." Gu Chang'e sat cross-legged at the center of the lotus platform. Above him, a bottle filled with demonic energy released overwhelming power. She thought to herself, even the elders could only comprehend a sliver of power, but he intends to devour and refine it directly. A red glow appeared on Gu Chang'e's forehead, gradually spreading. He thought to himself, even if my true spirit is destroyed, I can still return to the mortal world through the reincarnation seal's energy. His eyes glowed as he pondered. In this way, I have another life-saving method. Now, it's time to pluck the feathers of the Black Sky Eagle clan. Elsewhere, an old serpent angrily struck the ground with his staff, roaring, "Damn Black Sky Eagle clan! How dare they be greedy?" A subordinate nearby asked, "What's wrong?" The old serpent said in a deep voice, "The mark we left on the reincarnation Dao platform has been triggered." The old serpent then shouted, "Forget it. Call the clan together, and tell them I have something important to discuss." His subordinate cupped his hands and replied, "Understood." The old serpent looked into the distance, thinking, now that the great immortal ancient races are in turmoil, and the external Dao systems are shaking, has she shown herself? Our clan must find a way to preserve itself in this chaos. The scene shifts to somewhere outside. The Grand Elder was watching the previous battle, pointing at Gu Chang'e's face, enraged, "This bastard. Look at how vicious this kid is. He's forcing the immortal ancient legacy clans into a dead end." A middle-aged elder casually laughed, "He's still an outstanding talent from the Gu family. What are these tricks? Though I haven't seen him, I've heard many rumors, so his methods don't surprise me." A man in patched clothes walked forward. The Grand Elder said, "With Brother Dao's current strength, are you planning to overturn all the immortal ancient clans?" The mysterious person replied indifferently, "Our young master was bullied during his training. Isn't it right for me to act?" The Grand Elder replied, "But you are an ancestor of the Gu family's immortal branch. Besides, this matter is clearly his scheme against the entire immortal ancient clan." The dusty man said, "You don't need to say more, and don't stop me. He is the young master of the Gu family. How could I harm my own kin?" For a moment, both were silent. Then the Grand Elder laughed loudly, "Ahaha, then I'll drag this old body and accompany Brother Dao." The immortal ancient entrance opened again, and countless enormous immortal ships broke through the sky. Moreover, huge magical instruments, spiritual swords, and spirit beasts poured in. Even more astonishing, there was a small courtyard, sitting on the back of a gigantic spirit beast. The Grand Elder stood at a high place, casting a spell with the dusty man. The Grand Elder glanced back and said, "So it's all the powerhouses of the God King realm. I didn't expect the Changsheng Gu family to care so much about this matter." The dusty man laughed and said, "Ha ha ha. This wasn't arranged by me. They were dispatched by Gu Changa in his capacity as the young master. The Grand Elder asked, Gu Changa? The dusty man countered, why do you seem to care more about this person's every move than the Gu family itself? The Grand Elder stroked his beard and awkwardly said, after all, he is the heir of the heavenly immortal palace, and I'm also one of the candidates for the next palace lord. Of course, I need to pay more attention. The man laughed heartily and said, all right. Then let's go. The scene shifts to another large ship. Yi Lengtian and Yi Lioli cupped their hands and said, Uncle. The man standing in front of them said, the matters concerning the immortal ancient clans are clear. Now. From now on, this place will be the gathering point for all parties, and no one can escape. Yi Lengtian asked, so, has our training ended? The middle-aged man said, that's right. Your safety will be my responsibility. The immortal ancient clans have gone too far. It's time to show them the power of the ancient immortal clan. Yi Lioli said, Uncle, this time the immortal ancient clans are mainly targeting the young master of the Gu family. We're fine, but they wouldn't dare to go too far. The middle-aged man replied, don't underestimate that person's plans. If he hadn't secretly schemed, it would have been hard for us to find an excuse to intervene. Yi Lengtian was shocked and said, so that's how it is. I understand now. Brother Gu's methods really are admirable. The middle-aged man said, you don't need to worry about Gu Changa's safety. The Changsheng Gu family reacts quickly, and they are said to be furious. They've already sent a powerful force to support him. The feathered race will probably suffer this time. But thanks to Gu Changa, the Yi family will be able to gain a share in the immortal ancient continent. The middle-aged man cupped his hands and looked into the distance. The scene shifts to a large ship crossing the sky, with lightning flashing and thunder roaring, creating an overwhelming presence that startled the Sword Riders. That's the Taichu demon sect. Hurry! How dare such an evil force come to the immortal ancient to cause trouble? Someone said, I remember the Gu family's young master is backed by the Limo clan, which seems to be the Taichu demon sect. Someone nearby panicked, what? The immortal ancient clans are going to be in trouble. Elsewhere, Gu Changa gently stroked a purple feather and held it up to his eyes, saying, 100 Hang Mountain range. He thought to himself, I didn't deliberately hide my traces here, so the immortal spirit might be about to appear. Humph, this woman wants to swallow it all by herself. But without her, I would have to wait until the immortal spirit fully manifests to know the exact location. By then, I will have lost the advantage. Gu Changa stood up and said, don't let anyone else know I've arrived. Ruanyu bowed and said, yes, master. Gu Changa thought, Ming Kong, you're truly my lucky star. The scene shifts to MANHWA Ming Kong's cultivation place. She is surrounded by golden light. She thought to herself, why do I suddenly feel uneasy? While thinking, she continued to cultivate the celestial Tao scripture. This scripture has helped me get to this point. Truly perfect. The true immortal body must be refined as soon as possible. Then, a vast light surged into her chest. Several hours later, vast amounts of blue, red, purple, and golden light appeared in the sky, as if trying to destroy the beautiful scenery. MANHWA Ming Kong was terrified and thought, someone triggered my forbidden array. Within 3,000 miles of the 100 Hang mountain range, every inch of void is under my control. She immediately shouted, this fluctuation is unmistakable. Such a strong aura is approaching, prepare for battle. Then, MANHWA Ming Kong and her subordinates took position in the air, ready for battle. She shouted loudly, that is. Soon, the lights revealed clear figures. It was Gu Changa's group. MANHWA Ming Kong was puzzled, I didn't expect it to be him. One of her subordinates asked, what should we do, Emperor? MANHWA Ming Kong's gaze fell on Yin Mi, who was beside Gu Changa. She said angrily, stop him. Two subordinates exchanged glances, thinking, intercepting the young master of the Gu family. That's a dead end. But they still loudly responded, yes. Gu Chang'e stood in front of Minghua Mingkong. Ah, what a coincidence, I didn't expect to see Mingkong here. Minghua Mingkong's subordinate said, young Master Chang'e, this is the command of the Emperor. Someone nearby thought, ah, when couples fight, it's always the small soldiers who get hurt. Gu Chang'e smiled, it's fine. Looks like I've made Mingkong angry. Then, Gu Chang'e used his movement technique and instantly appeared in front of Minghua Mingkong, asking, Mingkong, what's wrong? Aren't you happy to see your husband? Minghua Mingkong coldly asked, why are you here? Ruanmi stood at a distance thinking, why do I feel like she is hostile toward me? There's even a killing intent. Gu Chang'e said, I'm curious, how did you end up here? Looks like you've been preparing for a long time, right? Mingkong stared coldly at Gu Chang'e and replied, we have the same goal. Gu Chang'e grabbed her hand and said, oh. That's even better. This made her blush. Then, Gu Chang'e leaned near Mingkong's ear and said, but I got injured, and you didn't come to see me. It really saddens me. Mingkong sniffed and thought, even her clothes smell like a fox spirit. Mingkong said angrily, injured? What does your injury have to do with me? I didn't hurt you. Gu Chang'e said, you're so heartless. Ruanmi, from a distance, cracked her fingers and thought, master and she. Mingkong asked, by the way, did you kill Yiling? He replied, he bullied my fiancée. I killed him for her. Isn't that the right thing to do? This made Mingkong furious. She turned around and shouted angrily, what did you say? You killed him for me. Clearly, you had your eyes on his legacy. Gu Chang'e said, you can't say that. Without you, I wouldn't even know who Yiling is. Why are you suddenly distancing yourself? This made Mingkong feel like she was being wrongly blamed. She started chasing Gu Chang'e, shouting, Gu Chang'e, don't try to frame me. Gu Chang'e ran and said, why are you in such a hurry? You're already an emperor, can't you be a little more mature? This left the subordinates dumbfounded. Gu Chang'e cast a spell and pulled a treasure from between his fingers, saying, all right, I'm not teasing you anymore. This is Yiling's supreme reincarnation legacy. Mingkong was stunned. She thought, the enlightenment cushion. This. Even the sage realm covets it. I didn't expect him to give it to me. Also, his enmity with the martial clan is for me. Could it be that he? She angrily snatched the treasure from Gu Chang'e's hand and turned to leave. Gu Chang'e, with a carefree attitude, asked, are you satisfied? The toolbar showed the prompt, daughter of fate Mingkong. Without thinking much, his attitude changed, and his fortune increased by 2,000, while his destiny value increased by 10,000. Gu Chang'e smiled happily, thinking, little treasure. Gu Chang'e smiled, looks like you're very satisfied with this gift. Meanwhile, Mingkong stored the treasure into her space. Then she asked, why are you suddenly so nice to me? You used to be indifferent. She whispered. Gu Chang'e wrapped his arm around her waist, pulling her into his embrace, making her cheeks flush. He said, I didn't realize before, but now I see how charming you are, my Mingkong. It's not too late to understand, right? Then, the two of them flew toward a certain direction. Gu Chang'e said, let's go. Let's see what mysteries this immortal path holds. Ruanmi subordinates and Mingkong subordinates stayed behind. Ruanmi said, we will split into 4 directions to protect the master and Mingkong. Mingkong and Gu Chang'e landed in a clearing. Gu Chang'e said, this setup has been in place for a while. Looks like Mingkong is quite skilled. Mingkong replied, after all, the birth of the immortal spirit is a big event. How could I not be cautious? Gu Chang'e walked ahead and said, indeed, Mingkong knows about the immortal spirit. So, the timing of the immortal spirit's birth is not far from my prediction. This left Mingkong stunned. She said, you. I can't believe you predicted the birth of the immortal spirit. How is that possible? This made Gu Chang'e secretly laughed. Haha, I just said it casually, but she fell for it so easily. Looks like the immortal spirit is indeed about to be born. Gu Chang'e walked ahead, and Ming Kong followed behind. She called out, Gu Chang'e. He replied, She continued, are you planning to leave me behind and take everything for yourself? Gu Chang'e stopped and said, is that what you think of me? Ming Kong asked back, isn't it? Gu Chang'e turned coldly and said, so, this is how you think of me. He approached Ming Kong and asked, have I ever done anything to hurt you? Why are you so guarded? Against me? Ming Kong froze and said, no, at least not yet. Then, Gu Chang'e walked ahead in frustration, saying, if you didn't know, you'd think I did something terrible to you in the past. In her heart, Ming Kong thought, sure enough, it was in the previous life that he framed me, and even stabbed me to death with a sword. But he seemed a bit angry. Could it be because I was reborn that Gu Chang'e's personality has changed? She looked at the furious Gu Chang'e, as if he were about to burst into flames. Gu Chang'e walked ahead, frowning, angrily thinking, although I did have plans to take it all for myself, you not only guessed it right, but even said it to my face. Do I have no face? Then, the two of them walked toward a secret room. Ming Kong called from behind, ahem. Gu Chang'e, you just. Gu Chang'e only snorted coldly, too lazy to respond. Ming Kong said, I just. But Gu Chang'e already snorted. Ming Kong thought, why do I suddenly feel a little disappointed? Perhaps, my obsession is not just to take revenge on him. The two arrived in front of an old stone door. Gu Chang'e said, this is the immortal gate. He thought, it seems that Ming Kong has already found this place. It's a pity she doesn't know how to open it. Gu Chang'e glanced at Ming Kong and said, if you don't trust me, when the immortal gate opens, you can go in first. Of course, if you're worried I'll plot against you from behind, you can choose to walk behind. Ming Kong lowered her head and said, I trust you. I must be really lucky, having such an unpredictable. Gu Chang'e replied, but right now, there are only two ways to open the immortal gate, either wait for it to appear naturally, or use the immortal record to open it. It's better to wait for the right moment than force it, but when the immortal gate appears, the immortal ancient continent will definitely fall into chaos, attracting the attention of many powerful beings. As for using the immortal record, I still have no clue. This made the corners of Gu Chang'e's mouth twitch upwards. He asked the system. System, how much does it cost to activate the immortal record? A system prompt appeared on the toolbar, activate the immortal record, ancient. Immortal era, special sacrifice time, used to announce to the immortals, informing the mortal realm. Fate value, 180,000. Gu Chang'e thought, luckily, the system store sells it. 180,000 fate points, it's a bit expensive, but I can't hesitate. Even if it's pricey, I have to buy it for Ming Kong. Ming Kong stammered in shock, activate, the immortal record. How do you have it? Gu Chang'e cast a spell on the stone door and said, I'm about to open the immortal gate. Do you want to go in first, or should I guard you from behind? The immortal spirit is inside, and we each rely on our own abilities. How about it? Ming Kong looked at Gu Chang'e, thinking, has he always valued me this much? How could? Ming Kong said, I won't go in. I'll guard you from outside. I won't compete with you for the immortal spirit. As for what I said earlier, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. If you're worried I'll ambush you outside the door, you can kill me. I promise I won't retaliate. This left Gu Chang'e speechless, and he said, scoundrel. Ming Kong replied, anyway, even if I did strike, I wouldn't be your match. Gu Chang'e thought, is it because of my change in attitude that she's nervous? I didn't expect Ming Kong to care so much about me, even willing to give up the immortal spirit and risk her life. I didn't know she was this kind of Ming Kong. Then, a huge explosion shattered the sky. A giant crack appeared in front of the stone door. Ming Kong exclaimed, the immortal gate has opened. Gu Changa glanced at her and said, "Why do you suddenly look so aggrieved? Why would I want to kill you?" Yu Mingkong replied, "Because of your secret." Gu Changa emphasized, "I won't kill you." Yu Mingkong asked, "Why?" As Gu Changa stepped into the immortal gate, he said, "Of course, because you're more useful alive than dead." This left Yu Mingkong speechless. Yu Mingkong gritted her teeth and said, "Is that so? Then you're really heartless." Gu Changa flew in and asked, "Let's go, want to come in together?" Yu Mingkong thought, "According to my memories from the previous life, the immortal path has been open for nearly a month. Only those at the peak are qualified to walk this path and explore the secrets of immortality. Gu Changa is deep-minded and full of methods, there should be no surprises." Yu Mingkong stomped her feet in anger and said, "Damn it. Why should I worry about him?" Gu Changa turned back and glanced at her, a smirk on his lips, "Foolish." After entering the realm, a giant ancient tree appeared before them, surrounded by many beautiful spirits. He raised the familiar bottle and played with the beautiful spirits in the air. Gu Changa asked, "How much can this celestial spirit power help me break through to the next realm?" "Indeed, it is quite promising." Then, the bottle opened, sucking in all the light and power. Below, the battle erupted, and the deafening roar shook the air. Gu Xiener faced several strange beings alone. She blocked an incoming attack with her sword while preparing to strike another enemy ahead. She counterattacked, kicking the monster's pig-like face, knocking it directly to the ground. However, in an instant, a spiked iron hammer appeared above her, smashing down violently and knocking her from the air to the ground. The violent impact caused a huge explosion, and rubble flew everywhere. The ugly pig monster said, "You little brat, it's an honor for you to be targeted by me. How dare you kill my kin?" He began his counterattack, changing his weapon, and the iron hammer grew enormous. He roared, "Then die!" He shouted, "Earthquake thunder hammer," and raised the hammer, preparing to strike Gu Xiener. She stood up and shouted, "With that ugly face, you think I'll submit?" Her long sword erupted with a cyan light, shouting, "3 talents blue flame." Suddenly, a bold voice rang out, "3 talents blue flame slash." Brilliant blue light covered the world. The light directly shattered the iron hammer. The pig-headed monster was struck by the backlash, flying backward and dying on the spot. Gu Xiener stood behind, questioning, "Who are you? Why do you know the Gu family's divine powers?" A middle-aged elder turned around, revealing a set of yellowed teeth, thinking, "Heh, little Xiener must be shocked by my high-ranking demeanor." Gu Xiener saw the elder's face and thought speechlessly, "How long has this old man gone without brushing his teeth?" She turned and asked, "You say you're my ancestor? Then are you Gu Nanshan?" The middle-aged man smiled and nodded, "Heh, exactly." She asked flatly, "Why should I believe you?" As soon as she said this, the middle-aged man was left speechless. The great elder appeared just in time to intervene. He said, "Xiener, he really is your ancestor, sharing the same lineage as you." Seeing the great elder, Gu Xiener happily shouted, "Master, how did you come here?" The middle-aged man arrogantly put his arm around the great elder's shoulder and laughed, "Now, little girl, do you believe me?" Then, she knelt and paid her respects, saying, "Ancestor, please accept Xiener's bow." The middle-aged man laughed heartily. "Ha ha! Good! See how obedient our Xiener is." The great elder interrupted irritably, "Hey, can you let go of me first?" The middle-aged man walked up to Gu Xiener and said, "Xiener, don't worry. With the ancestor backing you up, no one will dare bully you. Even that bastard Gu Changa won't be an exception." Gu Xiener's eyes sparkled, and she asked, "Ancestor, is it true? You can even deal with Gu Changa?" The middle-aged man laughed and said, "Of course. Don't worry, with me protecting you, how could he kill you?" But Gu Xiener coldly retorted, "Huh? Just like this?" The man, confused, asked, "Isn't this enough? Do you want me to help you kill Gu Changa?" Gu Xiener put on a flattering expression and said, "Of course not. I just hope the ancestor can help me suppress his cultivation to the same realm as mine. She thought for a moment and added, no, no. Better suppress him to one realm lower than mine. The middle-aged man scratched his head, puzzled. What does suppressing cultivation mean? Gu Xiener decisively said, Ancestor, help me suppress him to the Marquis realm. I want to fight him fairly. This statement left the ancestor stunned, full of confusion. He then turned to the Grand Elder and asked, Isn't Xiener supposed to hate Gu Chang'e? That guy from back then? The Grand Elder remained silent, simply closing his eyes and stroking his beard. Gu Xiener said from the side, Ancestor, didn't you know before coming here? There may be more to the events of that year. Gu Chang'e hid his strength, it seems to be related to spatial talent. The ancestor secretly worried, spatial talent, although the bone of the Great Way is strong, it can't compare to spatial talent. He muttered to himself, how could someone from our Gu family possess such a devilish talent? But on the surface, he still laughed. Heartily, ha ha ha. So that's it. Xiener, do you understand now? It's good that you can appreciate that guy's efforts. Ha ha ha. This caused the Grand Elder to be taken aback, his expression one of disbelief, like a thunderclap on a clear day. The scene shifts to another place, the large ship of the Taichu demon sect, covered with lightning and demonic energy, still stood tall with the other battleships. Above, the Yuren tribe stood on a magic tool. Someone said, I didn't expect the demon sect to be so aggressive. At first, staying silent, but now they're blocking us here. Another replied, I heard they're waiting for young Master Gu Chang'e to come and kill the Yuren tribe. Surrounding voices murmured, I never thought the Changsheng Gu family would be the most mysterious family of the upper realms. It said they've existed for a long time. And have immense power. Even if this battle doesn't make them stronger, they won't weaken much. The leader of the Taichu demon sect joyfully shouted, Young Master Gu Chang'e has arrived. The Yuren tribe attacked us with a sacred weapon. Now they must pay the price. Everyone, prepare to annihilate them. Behind him, passionate shouts followed, annihilate them. Annihilate them. A member of the Yuren tribe was trampled underfoot, screaming in despair, Taichu demon sect, do you know my identity? You are provoking a war with the evil tribes. You are being too much, and you will face retribution. The leader sneered, don't rush, the young master hasn't arrived yet. The real show is still to come. The scene shifted to Baihang Mountain. Yu Mingkong still stood guard at the immortal gate. She sighed, with just the spiritual energy symbols here, it's hard to hold up for much longer. With the energy leaking this much, replenishing it is impossible. Suddenly, she sensed something and exclaimed, it's coming. This aura is from the Saint Realm. Inside the immortal gate, Gu Chang'e was doing his best to resist the terrifying thunder tribulation. He thought, thunder, so in the end, it can't bring itself to kill me. Outside the immortal gate, Yu Mingkong anxiously thought, is this his true cultivation? The Saint Realm, if he targets me, then the real nightmare will begin. Gu Chang'e stepped out of the immortal gate, slightly injured, his clothes tattered, revealing his firm 8-pack abs. He muttered angrily, damn it, do they really want to force me to death? This made Yu Mingkong involuntarily laugh with a pft. Gu Chang'e put his arm around her shoulder and teased, do you like it? If you like it, just keep looking. Anyway, sooner or later, I'll be yours. Yu Mingkong froze, stammering, wah, what nonsense. Quickly. Put on your clothes. But Gu Chang'e continued smiling, what's the rush? Anyway, you'll see sooner or later. Yu Mingkong was both shy and angry, her cheeks flushed, and she retorted, who wants to see? The two looked at the immortal gate that was slowly closing. Gu Chang'e spoke, the immortal gate will close. Soon. After this, it will be much harder to open again. Yu Mingkong thought for a moment, then asked, does anyone know you came here? Gu Chang'e smiled indifferently and replied, no one knows, except for you. This made Yu Mingkong's mood slightly heavy. She anxiously thought, what does he mean by that? But she still firmly said, "Don't worry, I won't leak this matter." Gu Changa thought to himself, "It's like being bitten by a snake, now I must be cautious with the rope. I just said that casually." He comforted her, "Why are you nervous? I know you won't." The green gem bottle emitted a blue glow, surrounding Yu Mingkong. The immortals danced around her, and she exclaimed, "These are immortals." Gu Changa walked towards the distance and said, "This is your reward for your hard work. Don't overthink it, just consider it as me reducing my wealth." Yu Mingkong looked at him, thinking, he brought this back with great risk, and he is giving it to me? She bit her lip, thinking, if only I hadn't said that at the time. She asked, "Hey, Gu Changa." Gu Changa replied, "What's wrong?" She continued, "Are you planning to leave just like this?" Scene transition, a purple light appeared, flying towards a large ship with 3 dragon heads. Gu Changa was dressed neatly and landed. The crowd shouted, "Greetings, young master." Gu Changa thought, with this power and a few puppets, I can easily sweep the Feather Tribe, not to mention I also have the power from my mother of the Taichu demon sect. If the Feather Tribe wants to kill me, then I'll use them to set an example. The Grand Elder should have already arrived at the Xian ancient place, he still owes me a favor. Gu Changa's expression became serious, thinking, Gu family's ancestor, I don't know who you are, but I must find a way to get your help. Gu Changa shouted loudly, "Everyone, follow me into the land of the Feather Tribe." A subordinate of the Feather Tribe shouted, "Gu Changa." One of the leaders stepped forward and said, "If you want to fight, fight openly. Why take our young master as a hostage?" The others behind also shouted, "Let go of our young master." Gu Changa looked coldly and said, "Your young master." A general from the Taichu demon sect pushed forward a man with broken wings and said, "Master, this is the one. He said he wants to seek justice for his childhood sweetheart." The young master of the Feather Tribe raised his head, tears shimmering in his eyes, his face bruised, and even lost a tooth, shouting angrily, "Gu Changa, I will kill you. I will avenge you Jing." The leader of the Feather Tribe roared, "Yu Xian. Young master. Gu Changa, quickly return our young master to us." Gu Changa smiled coldly, saying, "Two brainless fools really make a perfect pair. Fine, since that's the case, I'll return him to you. Here." Gu Changa waved his hand, and his power made the young master of the Feather Tribe fly into the air. He infused power into the man's chest and then threw him back into the Feather Tribe's ranks. The subordinates of the Feather Tribe caught him and shouted in unison, "Young master." The person who was hit roared, "The spiritual energy in my body is in chaos. Damn, what did Gu Changa do to me?" His chest began to emit golden light, which quickly spread throughout his body. A general of the Feather Tribe broke out in a cold sweat and said in fear, "Could it be?" Before he could react, a violent explosion occurred in the sky, and the people of the Feather Tribe were instantly turned to ashes. A general of the Taichu demon sect cupped his hands and said, "Master, now that it's come to this, I am willing to lead the army and annihilate the Feather Tribe." Gu Changa replied indifferently, "Why destroy their tribe right away? We should learn to be merciful and give them a chance." His eyes glowed with purple light, and he slowly said, "If they still don't know better, then let them kill each other." Then, countless rays of light sped off, heading straight towards the Feather Tribe's territory. Gu family's ancestor, the Grand Elder, and Gu Xiener stood in the passage observing. The ancestor said, "Not bad, not bad. With such methods, the young master of the Gu family should act this way." The Grand Elder thought to himself, as expected, they're not from the same family, not from the same door. Gu Xiener asked, "Ancestor, there should be a supreme-level expert among the Feather Tribe spies, right? He barged in like this." The ancestor observed and said, But judging by that boy's sinister look, he must still have some tricks up his sleeve." Gu Changa shouted from the air, "Everyone of the Feather Tribe, listen up. This is your last chance. Today, either surrender or die." One person in the hall angrily shouted, Gu Changa, we have spared your juniors only because of our contract with the outside world. Do you think we are afraid to oppress you? Do you think these people can drive us back? You're dreaming. An elder of the Feather tribe said, as for our tribe's request for aid, the Dragon tribe has yet to reply. It seems they want us to take action first. Another person angrily said, damn it, it's all because of his true dragon token. The great elder sighed, if we want to reconcile, we may have to ask the old ancestor to come out of seclusion. Gu Changa sneered from the outside, with wings just like us, the entire Black Sky Eagle tribe is much smarter than you guys. In an instant, Gu Changa ordered, kill. The subordinates of the primordial devil sect charged toward the Feather tribe, starting a bloody massacre. Those who narrowly avoided the attack also roared in anger and charged forward. Gu Changa. Even if everything is destroyed today, we will never let the Feather tribe be humiliated. Another woman yelled, kill Miss Yu Jing and the Feather tribe's young master, and I will exchange my life for theirs. Gu Changa sneered, destroyed completely. You probably don't have the ability. Your realms can't even match mine. Perfect, I haven't made a move since my breakthrough. A fierce look appeared on his face, and overwhelming power poured down as he said, then I'll use you to practice my skills. In the blink of an eye, dazzling light pierced through the incoming Feather tribe members, and they fell to the ground, dead. Before the blood could fall, their bodies turned to nothingness. Gu Changa was about to charge into the hall when a treasure suddenly appeared. The Feather tribe's subordinates shouted, holy artifact. Turn the golden wheel. Gu Changa quickly pinched out a burst of force with his fingers, shouting angrily, supreme treasure. A massive green long sword appeared, slashing at the holy artifact. As the long sword pierced the holy artifact, it also heavily injured the two who were controlling it. A pillar of light shot toward the Feather tribe's territory. The old ancestor of the Gu family whispered, does this kid want to face the powerful members of the Feather tribe alone? Gu Changa stood in the air, glanced at the old ancestor, and sneered, causing the old ancestor to shudder. The old ancestor thought to himself, with his realm, how could he know I am hiding here? I was too careless. Gu Changa coldly said, a group of cowardly turtles, letting the younger generation go to die, this is your style. Below, the great elder was casting a spell to raise a shield to protect the clan leaders. The crowd roared, Gu Changa deserves to die. You. Another person screamed in fear, quick, ask the old ancestor for help. Gu Changa slowly descended and coldly said, two choices, surrender, or make a move and be killed by me. The great elder retorted, you are a villain with deep schemes, in the end, you will have no good outcome. Gu Changa sneered, I don't believe a word of that. Clearly, you wanted to kill me, so you invited the Dragon tribe. Too bad I broke your plan, and now you're trying to turn it around. Yu Jing's grandfather roared, Gu Changa. My granddaughter died at your hands, and now the Feather tribe's young master has also perished. Is this not enough? You still press forward, even not sparing me. Do you believe? Gu Changa simply waved his hand, and Yu Jing's grandfather's face was knocked aside. He coldly said, in the end, you old fools don't dare to act, just want to tidy up the mess with empty words. He continued, everyone, you've cultivated for hundreds of thousands of years, yet your courage is so small. Don't waste my time, why don't you end it yourselves? An elder beside him stammered, you. The great elder gestured to stop, don't listen to this guy. Gu Changa closed his eyes and sighed, since you won't act, then I won't hold back. Suddenly, he noticed a beautiful woman in the distance saying, Gu family's brat, don't get greedy. The old men below immediately shouted. Ancestor. Greetings, ancestor. Gu Changa thought to himself, a quasi-emperor, at least with three-layered heavenly cultivation, but an excited subordinate of the martial tribe shouted, Ancestor has awoken. Great, we turned the tide of defeat. Another person echoed, this time, Gu Changa is bound to lose. The martial tribe ancestor landed on the ground, his voice dignified, you killed my people and destroyed my lands. Since I have appeared, Gu family should give a reasonable explanation. Suddenly, an extremely enchanting woman stepped forward and coldly said, otherwise. She lowered her head, her eyes cold, and continued, I'll accidentally turn you to ashes. Gu Chang'e smiled slightly, thinking, another elder from the heavenly realm has come to join the fun, just like every year. He then changed his attitude and loudly said, Heavenly Ancestor. She threatened me and said Gu family must give her an explanation. She even said she'll burn down the entire Gu family's main city. This stunned the people of the martial tribe. The martial tribe ancestor was surprised, and the elders behind him quickly asked, What? Oh. Has the Gu family sent an ancestor too? Gu Chang'e still firmly shouted, Ancestor. I can't defeat her. The reputation of the Gu family is now in your hands. This left the Gu family ancestor, who had been watching from above, speechless, his jaw almost dropping. The grand elder beside him and Gu Xiener couldn't help but laugh, while he thought, this kid is plotting against me. With no choice, the Gu family ancestor broke through the passage and stood in front of Gu Chang'e. Gu Chang'e feigned surprise and said, Oh. It's Ancestor Nanshan. Chang'e has admired you since childhood. It's just that you've been in seclusion for decades, and Chang'e has never had the chance to meet you. But in his heart, he thought, before entering seclusion, Gu Nanshan's cultivation was at the imperial realm. Gu Chang'e cupped his hands and bowed, loudly calling, Greetings, Ancestor. The Gu family ancestor's face darkened, Kid, you're quite something. Gu Chang'e responded, Ancestor, you flatter me. After all of this was arranged by you, I'm just following orders. The martial tribe ancestor thought, Gu family ancestor. Why do I sense no trace of emperor-level power from him? He seems more like a bottomless abyss. An elder from the martial tribe said, Is this the Gu family ancestor? Doesn't look like a quasi-emperor. Another one said, Could he just be an emperor? Perhaps if we invite one more ancestor, we have a chance to win. Gu Chang'e slyly prepared to enter the passage, saying, Next, I'll cause some more trouble here. But for now, I'll take my leave. The Gu family ancestor crossed his arms and coldly said, Just wait. I'll settle the score with you later. The Gu family ancestor looked at the martial tribe ancestor and said, So, you are the martial tribe ancestor? I'm afraid there's also a quasi-emperor with you. Both of you shall face the consequences. The martial tribe ancestor angrily shouted, Face the consequences. My martial tribe is not a subordinate force of your Gu family. Are you not afraid of provoking the wrath of the celestial ancient world with such tyranny? A subordinate above said, That's the Gu family ancestor. Another woman said, There will probably be a great battle soon. The Gu family ancestor smiled faintly, Tyranny. Weren't you the ones who tried to harm my Gu family's young master with a divine artifact? For 10,000 years, my Gu family has never been schemed against. What right do you have? Upon hearing this, the martial tribe ancestor was shocked. Immediately, Gu Nanshan ancestor's fist struck the martial tribe ancestor's chest. He coldly said, Then let's send you to ashes first. That punch emitted a green light, causing the martial tribe ancestor's battle armor to begin cracking. In an instant, a world-shaking force tore the sky apart, directly striking the martial tribe's territory. The green light spun deeply downward, constantly eroding. When the light faded, a huge crater appeared in front of Gu Nanshan ancestor, with green light scattering in all directions. This force swept through the heavens, destroying all of the martial tribe's islands and land, and even deeper places were not spared. Gu Nanshan ancestor roared, You little brat. Did you see my power? Still dare to scheme against me? Gu Chang'e cupped his hands and bowed, calmly saying, I saw. Ancestor is invincible, peerless in the world. His skills are exceptional, and his prestige shakes the heavens. Gu Chang'e raised both thumbs, thinking, Such power with just one move. Has he already ascended to the realm of a broken immortal? Ancestor Gu Nanshan shouted, Where is the other one? Bring him out. I will subdue him as well. The great elder stammered, I. Gu Nanshan frowned and sighed. In the sky, a six-winged golden figure appeared, roaring loudly, "Bastard! Bastard! These damn juniors!" The ancestor of the feathered tribe shouted, "Run! While he hasn't caught up yet, retreat to the dragon tribe for refuge." Gu Nanshan stood in the front and coldly asked, "Run? What are you running for?" He then slapped again. Before the ancestor of the feathered tribe could react, the green light flashed once more. The onlookers were startled and broke into a cold sweat. Someone said, "The Changxing Gu family, one ancestor is enough to destroy the entire feathered tribe." Another woman exclaimed, "I heard that the Gu family has more than one ancestor." A man with a single horn on his head frowned, his expression serious, as if deep in thought. Inside the passage, the great elder said, "I knew we shouldn't have let him out. The immortal ancient clan is no longer in its former glory, how can it withstand his torment?" Meanwhile, Gu Xiener gasped, staring in shock. Gu Chang'e sneered from below, saying, "Look at yourselves, you should have known better. Why bother now? Now, will you choose to submit, or—" Before he could finish, the ancestor of the feathered tribe interrupted, "Submit. We choose to submit. We will be slaves and servants, obeying the orders of young Master Chang'e, even if it means death." Gu Chang'e smiled slightly and said, "Good. I, Gu Chang'e, have always been compassionate. I will give you a chance, but you must submit and provide me with a list, write down all your names." At this, everyone exchanged glances, their faces full of concern. The great elder hesitated, this. Gu Chang'e's face grew cold. Gu Xiener anxiously said, "I didn't expect him to make the feathered tribe kill each other." The great elder snorted, "Humph, this kid is truly a born villain." A bloody storm broke out within the feathered tribe. The great elder cried out in pain, "Ah!" After the battle, Gu Chang'e's name became an unshakable existence in the hearts of countless cultivators. A few hours later, on ships with their sails fully spread, someone exclaimed, "The immortal gate has appeared. Perhaps there is an opportunity for immortality inside." Another shouted, "Quick! Don't miss the chance." Gu Chang'e stood on one of the ships, thinking, grab it. The good stuff has already been mostly taken by me." On another ship, someone suddenly screamed, "Oh!" Chang'e thought, the anger of the ancestor will soon turn towards me. But his power, I still need to keep using it. The immortal lineage doesn't want to help me. I must think of a way. A calculating look flashed across his face, and he secretly thought, got it. Xiener, the 27th princess of the Sea King's lord, died because of you. Gu Chang'e turned around and said, "Everyone, thank you for your hard work on this trip." A general from the Taichu demon sect cupped his fists and said, "I dare not. I am just doing my duty." All the subordinates shouted in unison, "Young master means we have done well, and have earned his attention. We are willing to march through fire and water for the Gu family's borders, no matter the cost." Gu Chang'e turned around and said, "Good. Return to the Tian Palace." The scene shifted to the Supreme Arena. Gu Chang'e stood alone on the stage, gazing into the distance. Yan Ji stood at a distance and asked, "Young master, was this trip successful?" She thought to herself, "Before, I could still sense the dangerous aura from him, but now he is calm and unperturbed. His cultivation must have improved. Young Master Gu's talent is extremely rare, and his strength may now surpass mine." Gu Chang'e turned around and said, "Yan Ji, just in time, I have something for you to do." Yan Ji knelt before Gu Chang'e and said, "Young master, please give your orders." This made Gu Chang'e pause, extending his hand, "Ah. No need for that." Wai helped Yan Ji to stand up and softly said, "I need you to help me track down the whereabouts of a few people." Yan Ji asked, "Young master, who are you looking for?" Gu Chang'e clicked the notification in the toolbar and replied, "Yes, they've been missing from this world for more than a decade. Later, I'll have someone spread their news and leave it for you to handle." Wai took out a stack of talismans and handed them to her, saying, "Here, these are boundary-breaking talismans. Be careful with everything." Yen Ji was surprised and thought, boundary-breaking talismans? These are extremely rare life-saving treasures. She took the talismans and felt their preciousness. Gu Chang'e added, "If you die, I will really feel very sad and guilty." This made Yen Ji somewhat shy. She replied, "Young master." She thought in her heart, such precious talismans, and the young master gave me so many. Gu Chang'e truly cares for me. Yen Ji firmly said, "Don't worry, young master. Yen Ji will never betray your trust." In an abandoned village, 2 beams of light cut through space, and 3 cultivators were fleeing. One of them said, "Sigh. This was once the ancestral land of the ancient Sun family, but now it's been destroyed. Like this." The woman casting a spell replied, "There's nothing we can do. They offended the Taichu demon." Before she could finish, the woman behind her covered her mouth and sternly said, "Shoo. Don't mention that name. Are you looking to die?" The 3 of them were flying on their swords, and the woman in front asked, "What's going on?" Suddenly, it started raining heavily from the sky, leaving everyone stunned. The woman behind asked, "What's happening?" The man in the group suddenly noticed something, breaking out in cold sweat and stammering, "Th, that's." A wide passage appeared on the sea, the water parted, revealing the seabed, and a powerful army emerged. On the flag at the front, 3 big words were written, "Sea King Palace." The man asked, "What's their plan with this formation?" The pink-haired woman said, "According to the senior who returned from the immortal ancient times, the 7th princess of the sea King Palace is dead. It seems this matter is related to the Gu family." The woman beside her asked, "Could it be for revenge?" The scene shifted, and a crane flew across. Gu Chang'e was sitting beside the palace door, and at that moment, a green light appeared. The great elder, Gu Xiener, and the Gu family ancestor walked out. The ancestor laughed and said, "Ha ha ha, Xiener, how is it? Are you satisfied with the treasures from the martial race?" The great elder said, "Xiener, the trip to the immortal ancient has been very fruitful. You should properly thank your ancestor." Gu Xiener, linking arms with the 2, said, The ancestor is the best to me." "Thank you, ancestor." This made the Gu family ancestor smile broadly. Gu Xiener added, "Of course, master is also extremely wonderful." This made the great elder laugh joyfully, saying, "Ha ha ha, this girl." Gu Chang'e stood up and cupped his hands, saying, "Welcome back, great elder and ancestor." This caused the 3 of them to be momentarily stunned. Then, the atmosphere shifted, and the great elder asked, "Gu Chang'e, what are you doing here?" Wai looked up and said, "Oh, it's only been a short time, and Xiener has made quite an improvement in her cultivation. I am also relieved to see this." Gu Xiener stood behind Gu Nanshan and made a face to tease him. Gu Chang'e said, "Xiener, are you still resentful over that incident? When I was your age, I had already killed my way into the infinite sea by myself. Unlike you, who can't even handle the princess of the Sea King's palace." Gu Xiener angrily pointed at him and said, "Gu Chang'e, stop pretending. Ancestor, suppress his cultivation. Xiener wants to slap his face hard." Gu Chang'e picked up his teacup and said, "Xiener, don't think you can act arrogantly just because you have the support of the ancestor. Relying on others' power is not the righteous way. Don't let down the effort I've put in for you." Gu Xiener was both angry and surprised, and retorted, You aren't even embarrassed to say such things. The corpse of the ancestor of the martial clan isn't even cold yet. Ancestor, look at him." Gu Nanshan smiled bitterly and said, "Xiener, this brat is despicable, but what he's saying is..." Gu Xiener began to act coquettishly, "Didn't you promise to help me? Why are you favoring him now?" The ancestor chuckled awkwardly, The ancestor is doing this for your own good." He thought to himself, "It seems their feud isn't as deep as it used to be. Of course, I don't want you 2 siblings to fight to the death. Besides, this brat Gu Chang'e's strength, even I can't see through." If a fight truly happens, it will be Siener who suffers. Gu Changa smiled and said, Siener, do you know what the Sea King's palace is doing right now? Gu Siener asked, the Sea King's palace. Then, she anxiously said, they aren't coming for revenge, are they? You were the one who killed them. Gu Changa grinned, this all started because of you, and they died because of you. Gu Changa thought. Now you definitely can't figure it out. Am I harming you or training you? But it's fine either way. This left Gu Siener's mind in a mess. She said, ah. This smelly guy is so annoying, even more than Gu Changa. Gu Changa turned to the elder and said, I have something else to discuss with the elder. This made the elder think, what trick is he trying to pull now? Gu Changa said, the elder once guarded the immortal ancient, but now the immortal sect has emerged, and many strong figures are flocking to the immortal ancient. Such turmoil may destroy a dynasty. As long as the immortal ancient is not unified, the world will remain in chaos. This situation is also an opportunity for the Dao Tian Immortal Palace, isn't it? The elder was furious and shouted, almost spitting on Gu Changa's face, you still have the face to say that. Do you think this turmoil was caused by whom? The culprit is you. The Dao Tian Immortal Palace will not interfere in any faction disputes. This has been the tradition since ancient times. Luckily, Gu Changa dodged the spit in time. He said, well, speaking of which, elder, it seems you owe me a favor. Siener is after all from the Gu family, and if you truly care about her, you should carefully consider my suggestion. Gu Siener decisively said, Gu Changa, don't use me to make things difficult for my master. You must be scheming again. The elder began releasing his pressure, saying in a deep voice, are you threatening me? This also made Gu Nanshan fall into deep thought. Gu Changa cupped his hands and lowered his head, Gu Changa would never dare. I just wanted to remind the elder of Siener's status. I hope the elder will think carefully. The elder, who didn't dare control the factions of the immortal ancient, had concerns, but Gu Changa didn't. Then, the elder released his might and laughed loudly, ha ha ha, so you were waiting for me just for this? What do you think I want to do most right now? His might spread, and everything around began to shatter. Gu Changa stood behind Gu Nanshan and said, it seems the elder misunderstood my intentions. Isn't the ancestor going to speak for me? The ancestor must also be watching from the sidelines, right? I'm speechless. Gu Siener angrily scolded, Gu Changa, you're truly shameless. The elder sighed deeply. He said, your tone is so arrogant. How can a little junior like you control the factions of the immortal ancient? Even with your status, it is absolutely impossible. Gu Changa smiled and said, this is exactly what I am considering, elder, no need to worry. Gu Nanshan silently put away his cloak. The Grand Elder glared at him and said, I will agree if you swear that you will never harm Siener in any way from now on. Moreover, your Gu family must acknowledge Siener's identity. This left the three of them speechless. Gu Siener shouted, Master. Gu Changa said, I don't know why, but I always feel like the people around me have malicious intentions towards me. The Grand Elder stroked his long beard and asked, will you agree or not? Gu Changa stroked his chin and said, swear. So I will forever be bound, unable to resist, while others can do whatever they want. Even if it costs me my life, this condition of the elder is too excessive. I hope you forgive me, but I need to consider this carefully. The Grand Elder smirked and said, this request is indeed not simple. If you don't agree, I can understand. But this ancient matter, I should have sworn first, I never expected you would be in this position today. However, a voice interrupted the Grand Elder's thoughts, almost making him lose focus and stumble. Gu Changa said, if this person is Siener, then I will agree to this condition. He added, the Grand Elder is only protecting Siener so much, even at the cost of going against the sect's principles. As Siener's senior brother, what is this vow to me? Then, Gu Changa raised his hand and swore, I, Gu Changa, swear that from now on, I will never harm Siener. in any way and will restore her identity in the Gu family. If I break this vow, may my soul be scattered. Gu Xian'er was shocked. In front of a huge city gate, shouts could be heard, Dao Tian Immortal Palace, hand over Gu Xian'er. Dao Tian Immortal Palace, hand over Gu Xian'er. A group of mermaid soldiers was confronting 5 disciples of the Immortal Palace. One of the Immortal Palace disciples said, "The Sea King's palace is making such a big move, it seems a conflict is unavoidable." Someone beside them said, "The Grand Elder has not returned, how should we respond?" The leader remained silent. At this moment, Gu Xian'er appeared. She shouted loudly, "I'm here." One person causes trouble, one person takes responsibility. The leading disciple of the Immortal Palace shouted, "Junior Sister Xian'er." The Sea King's palace commander, Hao Miao, sneered and said, "This little girl is bold, actually daring to come to her death. This way, she will suffer less." Gu Xian'er felt cautious but could not sense his cultivation level. She asked, "Do you know how the 7th princess died?" Hao Miao asked, "Why?" Gu Xian'er smiled and said, "Because her brother tried to harm me, and I killed him. And she was extremely biased, so she deserved to die too." Hao Miao said, "Do you think that with Dao Tian Immortal Palace backing you, you can do whatever you want?" Gu Xian'er calmly replied, "I'm just stating the facts." Hao Miao said, "Then you'll pay with your life." As soon as he finished speaking, his figure shot toward Gu Xian'er, his fist nearing her. Gu Xian'er was terrified, cold sweat pouring down. "What's happening? This is bad." Just as she was panicking, Gu Chang'e appeared in time, blocking Hao Miao's attack. Gu Chang'e asked, "What do you think you're doing?" Hao Miao was shocked, "When did you?" Before he could finish speaking, he was kicked away. Gu Chang'e said, "A dignified great saint, actually openly attacking a little girl from the Sea King's palace, what a big face." Hao Miao asked, "You are Gu Chang'e, the young master of the Gu family, what does this mean? Do you want to shield her?" Gu Chang'e coldly replied, "What do you mean? Don't you understand? Xian'er is from my Gu family, who are you to decide her life or death?" Gu Xian'er was also stunned from behind. Hao Miao said, "Are you really willing to go to war with the Sea King's palace for a Gu Xian'er, who was once expelled by the Gu family? I advise you to think carefully." Gu Chang'e stood in front of Gu Xian'er and coldly said, "Xian'er is the jewel of my Gu family, when did it become your right to bully her? If the Sea King's palace insists on attacking my sister today, then I'll kill all of you." 2 enormous ships appeared above Dao Tian Immortal Palace, radiating light, with purple energy intertwining with lightning. Hao Miao prepared to take out a decree, saying, "Kill us? Ha ha ha. The young master of the Gu family has a big mouth. If you want to protect her, don't blame me." He unfolded the decree and shouted, "The Sea King has ordered that Gu Xian'er must be captured today, to avenge the 7th princess." The subordinates behind him shouted in unison, "Avenge the 7th princess." Gu Chang'e coldly asked, "With you guys, what does the Sea King even count as?" Gu Chang'e leaped into the air, shouting, "The will of Taichu, enter my body." In an instant, a purple energy began to circulate around Gu Chang'e's body. Hao Miao below also unleashed a monstrous surge of water, roaring, with blue and purple light intertwining in the sky. Hao Miao yelled, "Gu Chang'e, do you think I'm just here to watch the show?" Gu Chang'e thought to himself, "No, you are just a moving tool." In the sky, purple and blue lights intertwined and merged, ripping apart the entire continent. The subordinates of Dao Tian Immortal Palace screamed, "This is the secret technique of the Taichu demon sect. I can't believe it has such power in Gu Chang'e's hands, capable of countering a great sage's power." Another subordinate shouted with all his strength, "If it weren't for the runes protecting Dao Tian ancient city, it would have been destroyed by now." The mermaids in the enemy camp were also enveloped in purple light and could not resist. After a fierce battle, Gu Chang'e stood in the air and said, "A great sage is nothing. If you seek justice today, remember, in Dao Tian Immortal Palace, my words are justice." Hao Miao roared, "Little girl, the Gu family is bullying us too much." Gu Xiener killed my Sea King Palace's people. First, and now you stop us with your arrogance. What are you pretending to be, a good person? The events of the past are no longer a secret. You and her have been at odds. Can you really reconcile? Are you willing to damage the reputation of the Gu family for this? Gu Chang'e, are you stepping forward now to deny the cruel actions of the past? Gu Chang'e looked at Gu Xiener and said, about the past. He landed and said indifferently, why should I not admit it? I did it, it has nothing to do with the Gu family. Today, let me end this matter. Gu Xiener was instantly terrified, her eyes wide open. At the same time, the bones in Chang'e's body began to glow with a bluish light. Gu Chang'e said, I was young and ignorant, I took away my sister's Dao bone, and now I return it to you. Gu Chang'e's ancestor, Gu Nanshan, quietly watched all this unfold from the passage. Hao Miao angrily shouted, you! Gu Chang'e looked at Gu Xiener and said, this Dao bone originally belonged to Xiener, I took it and caused her to be cast out of the family. I deeply regret it. In front of everyone, I return her justice. He continued to strip his own bones with both hands. A look of pain appeared on his face, blood oozing from the corner of his mouth. Gu Chang'e said, Xiener, these years, I've wronged you. Gu Xiener watched all of this, biting her lip, tears rolling down her face. Then, Gu Xiener cried, Gu Chang'e, stop saying it, I already have a new Dao bone, I don't need yours. Gu Chang'e finally removed a bone. Dark clouds appeared in the sky, mixed with lightning. The subordinates of the Sea King Palace exclaimed, this is the Dao bone, truly a terrifying talent. It can even affect the heavens and earth. No wonder he didn't even spare his own sister. Gu Chang'e handed the Dao bone to Gu Xiener and said, this Dao bone has finally returned to its rightful owner. Gu Xiener was stunned, her eyes full of tears, trembling as she said, Gu Chang'e, you. Gu Chang'e stood in front of Xiener, a huge void of power appeared in his chest. He said, Xiener, don't worry, it's just being taken out. Gu Xiener thought to herself, I clearly know this feeling. The toolbar displayed that the hatred of the Daughter of Destiny had been resolved. Gu Xiener gained 8,000 destiny points and 40,000 fate points. Gu Chang'e said, Xiener, after all these years of hardship, as your elder brother, I will compensate you. This is my Gu family's business. No need for everyone to worry. Hao Miao said, the power of reincarnation, I didn't expect you to master the power of reincarnation. Another person said, the strength is too terrifying, even with such serious injuries, more than half of it has been recovered. A subordinate leader said, it seems senior brother Gu's trump card isn't just the Dao bone. Another person said, is he the true god of void? Why do we feel like fireflies compared to him? While healing, Gu Chang'e said, Xiener is the genius of my Chongqing Gu family. Today, what the Sea King Palace has done is, in my view, challenging my Chongqing Gu family. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and asked, are you ready to die? Hao Miao roared, what if you have the power of reincarnation? If not for the relationship between the two clans, do you think I'm a great saint? Gu Chang'e sneered and said, Great saint. Is that so? Then, Gu Chang'e clasped his hands again and bowed to the sky, asking, Ancestor, what do you think? A crack opened in the sky, and Ancestor Gu Nanshan appeared again. He spoke, today, no one from the Sea King Palace can leave. Ancestor Gu Nanshan appeared, standing in front of the Sea King Palace's army. Hao Miao exclaimed, Gu family's ancestor. He immediately took out the imperial decree and shouted, it's bad. Requesting the protection of our king. Then, a merman with a trident appeared. He said, the Gu family is bullying the weak, do they no longer care about their face? Hao Miao shouted in fear, our king, save us. Gu Nanshan's killing blade began to unleash its power. He snorted, humph, just trash, and then charged forward. Gu Chang'e quickly blocked him, wait, Ancestor Nanshan, hold on. He hurriedly stopped and shouted, the root. Gu Chang'e smiled and said, just wanted to remind the ancestor. To be careful, don't flatten the entire Tian-gu city, or else the Great Elder will truly be angry. Gu Nanshan shouted, substitute, next time, speak earlier, don't interrupt my spell. Gu Chang'e obediently replied, yes. Our king said, the Sea King Palace has no intention to be enemies with the Gu family, as long as we can make Gu Xiener. Gu Nanshan's eyes turned blood red as he roared, shut up. What is the Sea King Palace? It has no right to be arrogant in front of my Gu family. Then, with just one strike, he split the king's divine body in half. The small minions behind were also cut in half, collapsing on the spot, with not a single piece of armor left, slowly turning to nothingness. 3 days later, Gu Chang'e was in a cold place, with snow falling from the sky. He asked, what's the matter? Speak quickly. Gu Xiener coldly stood beside him and said, Gu Chang'e, what exactly is your goal? Are you lying to me? You dug out bones for me, but now, 3 days have passed, and you completely ignore what I mean. Gu Chang'e walked ahead and said, is it just this? Gu Xiener, you really disappoint me. Instead of focusing on cultivating, you waste time on these meaningless things. He glanced at her and asked, what? No motivation to cultivate? How about I show some mercy and dig out a few more bones for you? Gu Xiener angrily shouted from behind, stop pretending to lecture me. I don't know about others, but I know you too well, a two-faced person. Gu Chang'e angrily said, Gu Xiener, don't think that by swearing an oath of heart, I won't beat you. You've got some guts, be careful, I might kick you flying. Gu Xiener prepared to kick Gu Chang'e in the back, shouting, you dare. I think it's you who should be kicked flying. Gu Chang'e gently turned to the side and said, you poem, causing Gu Xiener's footsteps to falter. Immediately after, Gu Chang'e kicked out, sending Gu Xiener flying several miles. As she flew, she shouted, ah! Gu Chang'e, you wait. In the future, I will definitely beat you up. The scene switched to Yi Langtian's residence, where a subordinate reported from afar, this is what happened in Dao Tian ancient city. Yi Langtian pondered, I didn't expect Brother Chang'e to have such a past. Yi Liuli asked, bone picking to repay for a sister. It seems he really loves his sister. But brother, will the Sea King Palace and the Chongqing Gu family go to war next? Di Shui said, kid, they shouldn't. The Sea King Palace doesn't have the guts to confront the Gu family head-on. Yi Langtian replied, indeed, unless the Sea King is out of his mind. The scene switched to the Sea King Palace's domain. In the main hall, the Sea King roared, bastards. My Sea King Palace has been dominant for so many years, and this is the first time we've suffered such humiliation. The old turtle beside him said, Your Majesty, as long as you give the order, I'll gather the elites of the Sea tribe. Attack the Chongqing Gu family, reclaim our dignity, and let them know we are inviolable. The Sea King said, the avatar I gave him can only hold for a moment. If we really clash with the Gu family, I fear. He spoke worriedly. The old turtle kept urging, Your Majesty, this vast ocean, the Sea tribe is endless, and everyone is willing to sacrifice. For the clan. A mere ancestor of the Gu family, if we use the power of the whole tribe, it may not be impossible. In an instant, the sea surged. The old turtle exclaimed, Damn it. The Sea King said anxiously, This aura, it's the ancestor of the Gu family. The scene switched to the Wushuang immortal dynasty. A subordinate was reporting to Emperor Yumingkong, this is what happened in Dao Tian ancient city. The young master of Chang'e said, anyone who dares to harm Gu Xiener will have their entire clan wiped out and their bones picked clean. Yumingkong replied, I understand, you may leave now. The subordinate bowed, yes, and then left. Yumingkong thought, Gu Chang'e, what exactly are you thinking? You are both familiar and unfamiliar to me now. The more I observe, the less I can see through you. In the past life, Xiener's end was extremely tragic, but this life is different from my memory. Images of Gu Chang'e making Xiener laugh appeared in her mind. She thought, Xiener's matters aside, my own matters aside. If he only wanted to harm me, why would he do all this? I was too foolish, only later did I understand. In truth, he cares about me. Yu Mingkong stood up and thought, forget it. If there is a mistake, it's mine to bear. From now on, no matter if you are against the heavens, I will stand by your side. She pondered the changes between her past and present lives. The Sea King Palace made things difficult for Xiener, but in the end it was destroyed by the Gu family's ancestor, and the palace gates were sealed for 100,000 years. Later, Zhu Tian returned to the world and led all factions to establish the True Immortal Academy, giving rise to this True Immortal era. The once legendary human race reappeared. It is said that whenever a catastrophe capable of destroying the world arises, the human race will step in to save all living beings. The human race will never perish, but will continue through reincarnation, fighting to save countless lives. And when the human ancestor's reincarnation awakens, they will inherit the power of the human ancestor. At that time, Gu Changa's demonic legacy will be exposed. She gazed into the distance, thinking, with Gu Changa's current strength, it is not enough to resist the human ancestor. I must find a way to delay his awakening. Yu Mingkong stood on the towering palace, proclaiming loudly, send my orders, the Wushuang Immortal Dynasty is to establish the Wushuang Guard. Anyone with talent may come to protect the Immortal Dynasty. All the subordinates and ministers in the hall knelt and shouted in unison, we obey. She thought, the so-called Wushuang Guard is the peerless killing army that Gu Changa had me build in my past life. Using the art of creation, the soldiers are turned into killing puppets, resonating with life at key moments to share the damage. In this life, I will finish the unfinished business of my past life. Then, I will be able to assist you, Yu Mingkong thought firmly. In another place, in Gu Changa's room. The familiar bottle releases, flying around Gu Changa. His eyes glimmer with purple light. He thought, the Grand Elder is still too merciful, giving the Dragon Clan a few days to think. Humph, they will definitely find a way to resist. The green-haired man said, this is the news from the Dragon Clan. Alright, hey Ming, hurry up and tell me about that. The horned man also excitedly said, right, good brother. How could I forget to tell my brothers about such a good thing? The Kuan-Yuan clan will remember this. Hey Ming, heavily drunk, raised his glass and said, ha, it's all mine. As for taking disciples, even the Supreme Existence probably wouldn't care. Gu Changa controlled the observation of everything, thinking, of course, they wouldn't care. I really didn't expect this guy to be so generous, taking MY and sharing it. This saves me a lot of trouble. While absorbing, he said, the ancient Dragon Clan, if you want to seek death, I'll grant your wish. As for the Kuan-Yuan clan, it's time for you to welcome your new master, Gu Changa coldly said. On a city wall's gate, someone said, the obtain from He Ming is truly remarkable. In just a few days, I've broken through decades of bottlenecks. Ha ha ha, those people still wanted to slander us for secretly practicing. The one who just spoke was our young master, so clever. He got thee from He Ming with just 2 cups of wine. The bald man said, after learning this, the cultivation speed is like traveling 1,000 miles a day. But I wonder where He Ming got it from. Suddenly, the man with hair exclaimed, something's happening. An illusory figure appeared and said, you two are so happy. Is there any good news you'd like to share with me? The man with hair asked, who dares to barge into the Divine Kun clan? The bald man said, oh, Gu Changa, what are you doing in our clan? Gu Changa revealed his figure and said, oh. You recognized me? That makes things much simpler. Bring out your clan leader and welcome your new master. This made the two on the opposite side roar, you. Then, a chubby man appeared from the passage and said, barging into our clan, arrogantly claiming to be our clan's master, is the young master of the Gu family really such an arrogant and rude person? The 2 clansmen shouted, clan leader. Gu Changa prepared to condense a magical artifact in his hand and said, I'm just here to retrieve what's mine, not some act of arrogance or rudeness. The clan leader was shocked and said, that is the power of reincarnation. He is actually the heir of the ancient heavenly lord of reincarnation. Gu Chang'e began to release his power and said, what about now? Obey me and you'll be spared. This made the clan leader anxious and speechless. At that moment, the subordinates below shouted, even. If you are the heir of the ancient heavenly lord of reincarnation, so what? Our divine Kun clan will not submit. To others. Another person said, how could we submit to you, Gu Chang'e? Don't even think about it. The divine Kun clan members started rushing to retaliate. The clan leader quickly stopped them, stop. Gu Chang'e's eyes flashed with purple light and he said, foolish. A woman suddenly appeared, her body covered in purple veins. Most of those standing behind also turned into this, collapsing to the ground stiffly without even making a move, going to take their lunch. The clan leader broke into a cold sweat and urgently asked, is this the slave seal? Another person said, he can control the slave seal so easily. Gu Chang'e thought, the effect of this is not much different from the slave seal. He spoke, now, is there anyone who still opposes? The clan leader had no choice but to kneel and said, from today, we are willing to respect the young master as our leader. Then, all the members of the divine Kun clan knelt and loudly called out, we wish to respect the young master as our leader. The clan leader wisely said, young master, I have some intelligence about the ancient vine serpent clan, I wonder if the young master would like to hear it. Gu Chang'e thought, what does this mean? Gu Chang'e said, speak. The clan leader replied, regarding the incident with the reincarnation Dao platform last time, you should consider the Gu Ting Snake clan. Recently, they have been gathering strength, and it seems they intend to deal with successors like you. Gu Chang'e asked, you mean they might be determined to resist to the end? The clan leader replied, yes, their tribe is known for being stubborn. However, the scene shifted to the Gu Ting Snake clan, where the entire clan bowed before Gu Chang'e and said, the Gu Ting Snake clan has been waiting here for young Master Gu. The whole clan is willing to serve young master, even risking our lives. We humbly ask the young master to lead our clan to greater strength and create more glory. This left the clan leader of the divine crocodile clan dumbfounded. Gu Chang'e coldly asked, known for being stubborn. The divine crocodile clan leader awkwardly said, this. The clan leader of the Gu Ting Snake clan thought, I may be stubborn, but not foolish. I don't want to become the next martial tribe. The divine crocodile clan leader said, today, the master wins without a fight and subdues the Gu Ting Snake clan. What are your orders next? A cruel expression appeared on Gu Chang'e's face as he said, next, assemble the army. In the sky, 2 enormous thunder warships from the Taichu demon sect appeared, along with a large warship from the Chongqing Gu family. From a distance, Dark King Brother watched and said, Gu Chang'e is raising such a large army. The outcome of Xian Gu has already changed, and it will ultimately not end. He removed his hat, revealing his handsome face. An elder appeared and said, this person seems easy to deal with, but I'm afraid he wants to unify everything. The thoughts of the Xian Gu clan have been brewing for a long time. Dark King Brother said, I heard he left the great elder of the heavenly immortal palace. Before heading to the dragon clan, for some unknown reason, the dragon clan's ancestor fought with the great elder. That battle turned a vast area of hundreds of thousands of miles into ashes, and the dragon clan's ancestor was devoured by the great elder. However, thinking of past relations, he ultimately did not kill the dragon clan. Unfortunately, it seems Gu Chang'e does not intend to let them off easily. The elder said, the dragon clan is stubborn and doesn't even give the great elder face. They deserve to die. Dark King Brother asked. Elder, does Gu Chang'e really want to unify Xian Gu? The elder replied, at this point, even if he doesn't want to, he must think about it. Dark King Brother laughed, he really is a terrifying guy. I wonder who would be better, him or my sister. The elder said, nonsense. Comparing him to your sister is absurd. You're insulting your sister. Her talent. is unparalleled in all eternity. She was born to be a saint, or else she wouldn't have been chosen by the human ancestor palace to become a celestial. It's just that her character since childhood. He recalled the past, a little girl bullying a group of old men. She said, "Damn it, I'm not even of age yet, and you want to arrange a marriage for me. What do you mean? Do you old men believe I'll blow up your ashes?" The elder sighed, "Alas, what a calamity." The scene shifted to the human ancestor palace, where the surroundings were filled with magnificent barriers, truly magnificent. Inside the hall, a surge of power spread throughout. A graceful woman was cultivating inside the hall. A female subordinate entered and reporting. To the Holy Maiden, "No, the Holy Maiden has already left the heavenly domain and left a message." The beauty in the sky asked, "Speak, what did she say?" The subordinate said with concern, "She has no interest in finding the reincarnation of the human ancestor." She said the human ancestor palace has bound her, and she doesn't want to be the Holy Maiden. She just wants to find a suitable husband and get married. She turned around and said, "She is foolishly dreaming. Once she enters the human ancestor palace, she will be part of it for life. Finding the reincarnation of the human ancestor and taking over the world is the duty and responsibility of the successor." She thought, according to the prophecy, the reincarnation of the human ancestor will soon appear. I should leave here. In this life. The heir to the demonic arts has emerged, and the world is in chaos. If I can find him first, I will deal with him directly. The scene shifted to the sky, where a carriage was speeding ahead. In front of the carriage, an old man was driving the carriage. A woman shouted inside, "Don't send me off, go back and tell your young master to stop wasting his time. Miss has no interest in him at all." Some people shouted from behind, "Miss Sewer, this is the young master's order. We can't help it, please don't make it difficult for us." The maid said, "Zhao Tianxing, this annoying guy, why isn't he dead yet?" Heart. Miss has so many suitors in the heavenly domain, how does he have a chance? One subordinate said, "Hey, Miss Sewer, no matter what, our young master is the future ruler of the ancient Zhao clan. Isn't it a bit rude to say that?" Someone next to them said, "Yeah. And the young master genuinely likes the saintess, that's why we escort her all the way, worried about bad people trying to harm her. Even if we haven't done anything great, we've still worked hard." The sedan inside glowed with blue light, and a delicate woman shouted from inside, "You are the real bad guys. Get lost before I get angry." The light flew toward the people riding horses in the air. The light gathered and transformed into several long swords. She said, "Tell Zhao Tianxing, if he doesn't know his place next time, even the emperor can't save him." This statement made Prince Qin say, "One." The old man laughed, Since the young lady doesn't want to, let's leave quickly." The woman in the sedan angrily said, "Damn. I hate such hypocrites." The maid next to her asked, "Miss, what does hypocrite mean?" Prince Qin was surprised, "What?" Prince Qin said, "A hypocrite is a man who gives you a bouquet of flowers, treats you to a meal, and then forces you to marry him. If it were you, would you be willing?" The maid foolishly shook her head and said, "Ah. Of course not." Prince Qin said, "Exactly." The maid, while counting on her fingers, said, "1 meal is too little. I think at least 100 meals would be fair." This left Prince Qin beside her speechless. The maid next to her cheered, "Miss, you know so much." She proudly raised her nose and said, "Of course." She thought to herself, "I used to be a keyboard warrior. I lived in my old world, looked outstanding, and came from a rich family. Unfortunately, I was weak and sickly as a child, often staying in a small hospital room." She thought about her past self, always lying on a hospital bed, dying at the age of 20. Looking out the window, she thought, it's a huge stroke of luck to be reincarnated here after dying. Finally having a healthy body, traveling around is what I should do. What human ancestor? I don't understand any of it. Just like those stories about crossing into female-focused novels, where they always have a cold prince or tyrannical demon. Lord, but I'm just an idiot, chasing after those so-called geniuses, who are all fools with low IQs. The maid beside her asked, Miss, when you said you want to find a perfect husband to marry, were you serious or joking? Prince Chin excitedly said, of course, it's a joke. Miss will be a peerless female immortal king in the future, dominating 3,000 empires with one hand and pushing 14 states with both hands. How could she be bound by love? This shocked the maid beside her, her eyes sparkling as she cheered. She said, but Miss left without saying a word. What about the saintess? Prince Chin said, please, if I told her, would she let me go? She's always wearing a cold face, as if the whole world owes her, thinking she's above everyone else. The little maid whispered, I think the saintess is a good person, she's just a bit cold in personality. Well, she always wants to uphold justice. She responded, she is a good person, but what she needs is a man. As long as she thinks, apart from that human ancestor, all men in this world are. At this moment, the maid pointed in a direction and shouted, Miss, look. Over there is the infinite heaven of the inner domain. I heard. Young Master Wushuang is there now. Should we go have a look? She said, huh? Wang Wushuang. I don't want to see that little brother. But the maid stubbornly said, I heard that recently, the storm in infinite heaven is gathering, and the heir of the Dao Tian Immortal Palace is said to be the number one among the young generation. She glanced at the maid and said, you've been talking about it, but it's actually you who want to go, right? The maid continued exaggerating, I heard he's the taboo of the young generation, with the qualifications of a true immortal. Gu Chang'e, the young master, has unparalleled power in infinite heaven. Not only is he the young master of the Chongqing family, but he's also the heir of the Dao Tian Immortal Palace. Behind him, the primordial divine sect and the immortal sect are fully supporting him. Prince Chin closed his eyes and laughed, true immortal qualifications. Did Gu Chang'e's father say that himself? Saying his son has true immortal qualifications. Normally, those who are called geniuses like that end up dying quickly. Besides, Gu Chang'e is a name that doesn't even sound like the protagonist of a web novel. It doesn't even have the character Fan or Ling, it's inconvenient to even call himself the protagonist. She teased the maid, so I told you, you're just a cannon fodder character. Look at how excited you got. The maid was still thinking about what she said, and she continued talking endlessly, I bet right now, someone with the surname Ling is being suppressed by Gu Chang'e and about to be slapped in the face. The maid said, Miss, please don't speak ill of young Master Chang'e. He almost died on the Tian-Gu continent, when he damaged his origin to fight against the inheritor of the demonic arts. He is so bright, upright, and great. Moreover, I've heard that young Master Chang'e's demeanor is like jade, transcendent and otherworldly. Prince Chin said, stop, must you go on? Anyone who doesn't know might think you're his maid. The scene shifts to another place. A golden light appeared in the sky. Above was an enormous warship, and below was a bloody battle where Chang'e was fighting with the Dragon Clan. The Dragon Clan leader roared, Gu family's child, don't think you can make our Dragon Clan bow to you. We have dominated the heavens and the earth, never yielding even to true immortals. What merits do you have to dare claim to control the immortal ancient? Gu Chang'e responded, Leader, you are mistaken. I, Gu, am merely a junior, how could I claim to control the immortal ancient? When the Dragon Clan sent the true Dragon Order and had the martial clan besiege me, today, I only wish to seek justice. The Dragon Clan leader roared, spitting blood, you led an army to attack our clan, and now you want to claim righteousness and slander our clan's purity. Child, you must die. Gu Chang'e made his move, two sturdy long knives appeared behind him. He laughed, why get so angry? Leader. If the Dragon Clan prefers to die rather than yield, don't blame me for being merciless. The Dragon Clan members below started to discuss. On the other side, someone exclaimed, Tisk, that's the reincarnation ancient wheel. Another person said, that's not a Tao artifact, but a replica of the Tao artifact created by the reincarnation ancient celestial lord. One person anxiously said, how is that possible? How could Gu Changa have such a thing? Another person discussed, what is his relationship with the reincarnation ancient celestial lord? Damn, this guy has such an identity, this is bad. Should we surrender? The clan leader thought, by bringing out this artifact, is he trying to disrupt the morale of my rear forces? The clan leader roared, our dragon clan's proud spirit will forever exist, we'd rather die than yield. Don't think you can make us submit. He shouted, kill. Then, his subordinates charged forward, their claws sharp. Just as someone was about to launch a sneak attack, Gu Changa had already gathered his strength. He thought, prepare to become a supreme. At the critical moment, the leader of the Black Sky Eagle clan came to rescue Gu Changa. Experts from the Divine Crocodile Clan, Snake Clan, and Heavenly Eagle Clan appeared instantly and said, young master, we're here to assist you. This shocked the Dragon Clan leader, you. So, you have been preparing for rebellion. He erupted with an intense aura, roaring, bastards. He began to transform. Gu Changa calmly said, Great Elder, I hope you will honor your promise. In an instant, an incredibly huge light poured down and landed on the Dragon Clan leader, who screamed in pain, ah. The Dragon Clan members shouted in shock, leader. The light kept releasing, scattering the dust, causing everyone around to be sent flying. After a moment, that golden-white light penetrated the Dragon Clan's land, and a voice came from the sky. The Dragon Clan leader has been defeated, there is no need for you to continue fighting. The Snake Clan members thought, I never expected that one strike could suppress the Dragon Clan leader, such a terrifying existence. Fortunately, I surrendered early. Gu Changa thought, to suppress a supreme-level Great Elder so easily, his strength is probably far greater than I imagined. Gu Changa said, the Dragon Clan leader has been defeated, either surrender or die. Upon hearing these words, the Dragon Clan members looked at each other, glancing at the bodies of the young members who had fallen to the ground. An elder said, our Dragon Clan's power is waning, we are willing to submit. Gu Changa sighed, he thought to himself, this is typical, no tears until seeing the coffin. Then, a purple light flew into the sky. Gu Changa cupped his hands and said, it's over. This battle was all thanks to the Great Elder. The Great Elder turned around and said, remember what you promised me. Gu Changa shouted, as a member of the Heavenly Immortal Palace, for the safety of both inside and outside the palace, it is only natural that I will not refuse. The cultivators of the Heavenly Immortal Palace were in heated discussion. Then, the Great Elder, enraged, turned around, you little brat, are you unreasonable? Did you always plan to drag the Heavenly Immortal Palace down with you? Gu Changa laughed, hey, Great Elder, what are you saying? Don't forget, you still owe me a favor. If there's trouble in the future, I might have to trouble you. Before he could finish speaking, the Great Elder had already disappeared into the air, leaving behind a sentence, shameless. Stay away from me, I don't want to see you again. Gu Changa continued to smile faintly. At this moment, a detection appeared on the notification tool, revealing a new child of fortune. The person had hidden their identity, and they turned out to be a transmigrator. Gu Changa thought darkly, a transmigrator, could it be? Gu Changa showed a sinister smile and said, interesting, fellow countrymen meet each other, it's easier to deceive people. The clan leaders of the various immortal clans said in unison, young master, you have completed what you instructed. All the rebellious dragons have been dealt with. Gu Changa said, good, well done. He thought to himself, with 3 major clans submitting, it will inevitably make the great Tao factions wary. Next, it's best to keep them hidden in the shadows. But this transmigrator, were they before me or after me? Such anomalies must be crushed. In the distance, a mysterious clan elder said, if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, who would believe that a young man could accomplish this? Wang Xiong, standing beside the elder, said, from a certain perspective, Gu Changa is Even more terrifying than that inheritor of the demonic art. The elder replied, it's rumored that the inheritor of the demonic art was ultimately defeated by him, but his real whereabouts have yet to be found. Even though some young prodigies were secretly killed, they were all done covertly. He must have been severely injured by Gu Changa. As for the younger generation, it's hard to find anyone who can compare with him. The young master will likely have to learn from Gu Changa in the future. Wang Xiong said, in decision-making and methods, I truly can't compare to him, but in the face of absolute strength, conspiracies and schemes are nothing. The Wang family, isn't there still my sister? Suddenly, a voice came from behind, when you encounter a strong opponent, you bring up my sister, you'll always be a sidekick like this. The two who were talking were startled, their hearts trembling. Wang Ziqin jumped up and kicked Wang Xiong, saying, can't you have some dignity? Don't you feel ashamed of your battle suit? After all these years, how are you still so vulgar? Meanwhile, the female servant landed. Wang Ziqin's kick sent Wang Xiong spinning several times. He said, didn't the human ancestor hall teach you etiquette? What kind of woman are you? Wang Ziqin said, Wu Shuang, remember, there's always someone stronger and better than you. The three major clans aren't fools. And just with the identity of being an inheritor of the ancient heavenly venerable, Gu Changa cannot rule the immortal clan. The elder beside them cupped his hands and said, greetings, young miss. Wang Xiong said, so, what does my sister mean? Wang Ziqin observed. And said, I've been watching him for a while now. His methods are powerful, but there are no flaws, even I can't see through his depth. The female servant said, it's a pity that I heard Gu Changa is already engaged. Otherwise, he would be quite a match for you, young miss. Wang Ziqin confidently said, what a pity, he missed out on a fine woman like me. However, his fiancée is quite lucky. The elder beside them said, it's rare for the young miss to give him such high praise. Should we go visit and get to know him? Wang Ziqin thought for a moment and said, all right, as the elder suggests. Wang Xiong thought to himself, what's going on? Isn't she the one who hates matchmaking the most? The maid beside him said, she had no interest before coming. Wang Ziqin slapped the maid's head and said, who told you to talk too much? The scene switched to another location, where subordinates were sorting and counting precious sun pearls. One person shouted, move them over here. Another person counting said, these magical treasures are precious, handle them carefully. Gu Changa stood aside, watching as the toolbar showed that the daughter of destiny had taken an interest in the host. The luck points increased once, and the destiny value rose by 50. Gu Changa thought, this works too. He secretly smiled, thinking it seems that his fellow countrymen had noticed him and even developed an interest. He could only say that his charm was too great. She must have seen that battle earlier. If he guessed correctly. Before he could continue thinking, a subordinate reported, young master, Wang Wushuang, heir of the Eternal Life King family, is here to visit. They are waiting outside Dragon Island. Gu Changa thought, oh, they arrived quite fast, the Eternal Life King family. Gu Changa said, please direct them to the Die Peak for gathering. The subordinate reported, yes, young master. Gu Changa licked his lips and sneered, she shows some interest in me, and now she's giving me this much destiny value. He thought, her luck, isn't this a fat sheep? The subordinate beside him reported, everyone, please follow me. Young Master Changa has prepared tea. The maid beside him said, young master, why do you want to meet him so badly? Wang Ziqin laughed and said, isn't it because of me? Naturally beautiful, afraid he'll make me look ugly? Sewer, you don't understand, being too good-looking is also a burden. She thought, besides, I don't want to reveal my identity as the holy maiden of the human ancestor hall so soon. There are too many arrogant geniuses in this world, it's truly boring. Gu Changa, don't disappoint me. The subordinate led the way, saying, everyone, the young master is waiting upstairs. Wang Xiong cupped his hands and said, "Thank you for your trouble." Wang Ziqin looked at Gu Changa's subordinates and thought, the temporary guards are all at the God King realm. Gu Changa's foundation is truly profound. No wonder he is so fearless, but being able to make good use of family background is also a skill. Wang Xiong cupped his hands and lowered his head, saying, "Greetings, Brother Gu." Gu Changa stood at the front and said, "Wang Xiong, no need for formalities. The conditions outside are simple, please don't mind." The maid beside him thought, "Wow, he looks even more handsome up close. He's elegant and seems like someone who enjoys reasoning." Wang Ziqin also thought, "Tisk, this is the typical villain's smile, right? Smiling on the outside, cold on the inside, clearly not a good person." Gu Changa smiled and said, "Please, sit as you like." After everyone had seated, Gu Changa asked, "I wonder why Brother Wang suddenly paid a visit." Wang Wushuang said, "Isn't it because I saw Brother Gu strategizing so easily, effortlessly suppressing the Dragon Clan, and I was thoroughly impressed. Therefore, I came to visit and seek advice from Brother Gu." Gu Changa frowned and said, "Heh, Brother Wang, you flatter me. For countless years, the Dragon Clan has been bullying others with their power, acting arbitrarily and recklessly. Today, they are only reaping what they sow. Moreover, I was just using their momentum. The real mastermind is the Tao Tian Xian Gong. You saw it yourself, the Grand Elder didn't hesitate to act. I was merely pushed forward to take the blame." "Brother Gu, are you joking? No need to be modest. And now, among the younger generation, no one can control the Black Sky Eagle clans." The elder beside them casually sipped tea. Gu Changa also took a sip of tea and said, "Brother Wang, you flatter me. Not to mention ruling, I'm just relying on some connections with the ancient reincarnation Heavenly Lord, and they assisted me. Now that the immortal ancient realm is unified, they no longer travel with me, they've returned to their respective families." Wang Ziqin opened her folding fan and began to show her presence, saying, "To say such hypocritical words so openly, you really are no good." As soon as this was said, both the elder and Wang Xiong spat out their tea. The maid hurriedly said, "Young master, you can't say such things to his face." Gu Changa widened his eyes and asked, "Who is this?" Wang Xiong said, "Apologies, Brother Gu. This is my older sister, Wang Ziqin. She has a habit of speaking without thinking, often saying nonsense without weighing her words. Please don't mind, Brother Gu." Gu Changa said, "Ah, so this is Brother Wang's sister." This made the three people at the table pause for a moment. Wang Xiong said, It's my older brother." Gu Changa smiled as he sipped his tea, saying, "Ah, Brother Wang, Miss Wang Ziqin has such an otherworldly temperament. Whether male or female, I can still tell." Wang Ziqin's identity information appeared above her head. Wang Ziqin, gender female, luck value 12,000. She thought, he actually exposed it directly, yet I'm not angry at all. His observation skills are extraordinary. Definitely not a normal background, interesting. But no matter how powerful he is, he could never guess that I am a transmigrator. She raised her cup and laughed, saying, I've heard of Brother Gu's celestial bearing, and I thought it was just an exaggeration. But today, seeing it for myself, it's truly as they say. What Brother Gu says is just a false reputation. Miss Ziqin, you flatter me." She then stood up and said, "Such an opportunity is rare. I'd like to discuss the structure and development of the current immortal world with Brother Gu. How does that sound to you?" Gu Changa also agreed, saying, "Miss Ziqin, please speak. I would love to hear your insights." This left the three people in the middle confused. Gu Changa thought, she probably doesn't know my background yet. It seems that in the eyes of transmigrators, native prodigies are all foolish. I must perform well, I can't waste her interest in me. Once we become closer, only then will she truly understand what it's like to be interested in a villainous character. Gradually, the sky darkened, and the bright moon rose. The three people in the middle remained seated. The maid said, "I didn't expect that Miss and young Master Chang'e would get along so well." The others all agreed. Wang Zijing said, "It's getting late. Brother Gu, your actions may not be the righteous path, but they are straightforward. And far more real than those who speak of great justice." Gu Chang'e responded, "I don't deserve such praise. Miss C. Jin's views today have indeed opened my eyes. After meeting today, I realize it's a pity we didn't meet sooner." She laughed, "Ha ha ha, Brother Gu, I feel the same. In my opinion, you will stand tall in this world, looking down on the commercial world, reaching the peak, and conquering all." Gu Chang'e replied, "If I had met Miss Zijin earlier, it would have indeed been a great regret in my life." Wang Zijing picked up a leaf from the ground and said, "Oh. Brother Gu, are you not afraid of your fiancé hearing this?" This made Gu Chang'e pause. She began to return to her original identity and said, "But I feel it's not too late now. Why don't you break off your engagement and marry me instead?" This sentence made the three people in the middle choke on their tea. They all exclaimed in unison, "Miss, sister." Wang Zijing, walking toward the door, said, "Brother Gu, you and I are both exceptionally intelligent people. Our marriage would be a top-tier partnership. By then, wouldn't the world be at our mercy, turning clouds and rain with a wave of our hand?" Gu Chang'e coldly looked at her and then smiled, "Miss Zijin, you jest. First, this engagement was arranged by my parents when I was a child. Even if I were willing, I'm afraid the forces behind you wouldn't approve, would they?" She thought, is he referring to the royal family? Has he already figured out my identity in such a short time? Wang Zijing said, "Brother Gu, you don't need to worry about the forces behind me. What I want to do, they cannot stop. I just feel, Brother Gu, that rejecting me so directly is rather hurtful." Gu Chang'e poured tea and said, "Miss Zijin, your talent and strength are indeed unparalleled, but still not enough." Wang Zijing thought back to when she took her sister's great Dao bone. After returning from the lower realm, she revealed her rare void talent and now even shows the inheritance of the reincarnation ancient celestial Lord, with sharp insight, ruthless methods, and great wisdom. Gu Chang'e is indeed unfathomable, and it seems I still cannot underestimate him. The three in the middle finally couldn't hold back and quickly stood up. Wang Zijing said, "Such composure, indeed flawless. Well, it's late now." The four of them prepared to leave. Wang Zijing said, "I won't disturb Brother Gu any longer." Wang Zijing also cupped his hands and lowered his head, "Farewell." Suddenly, Wang Zijing turned and asked, "By the way, Brother Gu, do you think we will meet again?" The system notification showed a change in Wang Zijing's gaze. Host's fortune value plus 2,000, fate value plus 500. Gu Chang'e still cupped his hands and smiled, "Of course, we will meet again." Gu Chang'e sat alone on the city wall, Tongjia. Wai thought about the moments spent with Yu Mingkong and shouted, "Is anyone there?" A subordinate responded from behind. Gu Chang'e continued, "Send someone to check what Princess Mingkong has been doing recently, and report to me." The female subordinate replied, "Yes, my lord." Gu Chang'e thought, Yu Mingkong, as a reborn person, clearly knows some things about the future. But if I can track her movements, I might discover some clues about the future. If Prince Qin is the heir of the human ancestor temple, and she starts wandering the world today, it means the human ancestor of this generation is about to emerge. Fortunately, as a transmigrator, she clearly does not intend to be a tool for finding the reincarnation of the human ancestor. This is still advantageous for me. The human ancestor and the inheritors of demonic arts have always been mortal enemies, and the former has ways to identify the latter. Such a hidden danger, whether to replace or resolve it quickly, I cannot ignore it. Gu Chang'e crushed the teacup in his hand, thinking, I must deal with him before his rise. Scene transitions to another place, gold and jade gleaming. The subordinate is still reporting to Yu Mingkong, reporting, the spatial coordinates of the heavenly god realm have been determined, and the Wushuang Guard now has candidates. The second team is being formed. Yu Mingkong raised her hand and said, "Good, retreat." She looked into the distance and thought, in my past life's memories, the reincarnation of the human ancestor came from the heavenly god realm. If I want to protect Gu Changa, I must act before he returns to the upper realm. Fortunately, the heavenly god realm is far from the inner domain, so the human ancestor temple will not be able to find the reincarnation so soon. During this time, I still need to return to the ancestor temple to receive the emperor's aura and refine the remaining immortal spirits. She thought coldly, Gu Changa, if you disappoint me again in this life, then I. Meanwhile, Gu Changa was in the grand hall. Below, He Ming stood with his head lowered. Gu Changa said, "He Ming, I heard you want to remove the slave seal from your clan and free yourself from my control." He Ming hurriedly said, "No, I wouldn't dare." Gu Changa walked down the steps and asked, "Do you want to be a hero?" Cold sweat poured down He Ming's face as he quickly replied, I was wrong. Master, please don't kill me. Give me another chance, I'll go through fire and water, even to the point of being torn apart." Gu Changa stood before He Ming and said, "Don't worry, I won't kill you. After all, you were chosen by the Supreme Being." This made He Ming freeze. He raised his head in surprise and said, "Huh? How do you know?" Gu Changa helped He Ming up and said, "The Supreme Being, let me tell you. What the heart sincerely desires, all things can be praised. Its true name is reincarnation, and in it lies eternal life." He Ming asked in excitement, "Oh, so you are also a follower of that being? I knew there was something familiar about you." Gu Changa gestured for him to be quiet and continued, "The Supreme Being has given you a task. Within 3 months, find 3 exceptionally gifted and devout followers for that being. When the time comes, if they sincerely chant the supreme true name, they will be able to see the true form." This was like a thunderclap to He Ming. He lowered his head and said, "I understand. Please rest assured, my master, I will complete the task." Gu Changa responded, "Since you are so important to them, don't disappoint that being." He Ming replied, "Even if I am torn apart, He Ming will never disappoint the Supreme Being." Gu Changa laughed heartily. Threats and motivations have different drives. Wild worship, even sacrificing one's life, still follows the power. In another place, Gu Xiener was pondering while reading a letter. She said, "Uncle wrote to me personally, asking me to return home." Actually, when Gu Changa admitted that I was from the Gu family that day, I had already predicted all of this. Don't you think so, the Qing? The Qing bird, lazily lying nearby, responded with a croak. Gu Xiener casually let the letter float away. She said, They don't have any sincerity. They still underestimate me." Gu Xiener decisively stood up and said, "Not going back means not going back. Whoever wants to go back can go, but I'm not going." Suddenly, a voice came from behind, "Oh. Not going back." Gu Changa appeared behind Gu Xiener, scaring her. She said, "Gu Changa, you appear and disappear like a ghost, are you trying to scare me to death?" Then, she soared into the air and said, Not going back means not going back. They kicked me out of the Gu family back then, and now they think a single letter can make me return. Dream on." However, 3 golden chains suddenly appeared in the space. Gu Changa said, "Gu Xiener, you really disappoint me. Even escaping is so difficult, yet you keep thinking about challenging me, it's really boring." Gu Xiener, tightly bound by the chains, shouted angrily, "Gu Changa, you despicable. Unfair. If you have the guts, suppress your cultivation and fight me." Gu Changa forcefully threw Gu Xiener to the ground and said, "If you really wanted to die, you would have died by now. Enemies won't talk reason with you, and they won't talk fairness. My father sent a letter ordering me to bring you back. I won't go back, he's your father, not mine. It was him who kicked me out back then." This left Gu Changa speechless. He said, "Gu Xiener, did you misunderstand something? It's an order to bring you back, not for you to go back voluntarily. You have no choice. Gu Xianer broke free from the chains and said, no matter what you say, I'm not going back. In an instant, Gu Chang'e directly embraced Gu Xianer's waist, which startled her. Is this guy trying to carry me back? But the next action stunned her. Gu Chang'e directly carried her over his shoulder like a sack. Gu Xianer screamed, Gu Chang'e, what are you doing? Put me down. Gu Chang'e said, stop struggling, if you keep making a fuss, I'll bind you and take you back. I've carried you before when we were little. Gu Xianer froze while struggling, remembering a childish voice from the past. Brother, I can't walk anymore, I'm hungry, tired, and sleepy. Little Gu Chang'e also couldn't help but say, I need to train, what are you doing here being so idle? Don't drip your saliva on my clothes. A passage appeared in the sky. Gu Xianer said, can't we change the position? Gu Chang'e angrily shouted, so much nonsense. A small mound on the ground suddenly shouted, bah! Which bastard stepped on me? The nearby Daqing bird was also affected. In the nine-tailed celestial fox clan of the ancient emperor clan, a magnificent palace stood. In front of the palace was a statue of a nine-tailed fox. A weak man collapsed on the ground, muttering to himself, what's happening to me? He opened his eyes and softly murmured, my body. He suddenly sprang up, shouting, how did I end up like this? He looked around and found himself in a stable, not far from two horses affectionately nuzzling each other. He was extremely shocked. Where is this? I was just cultivating in the Heavenly Emperor Palace, how did I suddenly end up here? As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately ran to a nearby water bucket to check his appearance. Terrified, he thought, has my soul swapped with this servant? Otherwise, why don't I have any of his memories? The water bucket reflected an ugly face. He angrily said, I'm the son of the Heavenly Emperor, destined to rule all races, how dare someone meddle with me? Suddenly, a woman walked over, shaking several fox tails, and arrogantly said, Chu Fan, has the young lady's horse eaten yet? Don't slack off and delay the important matter. The young lady is going to the Gu family matriarch's birthday banquet. The servant's face suddenly turned ferocious, and he gritted his teeth, saying, Chu Fan, you wait. The scene shifted, and a burst of laughter came from a magnificent palace, ha ha. A handsome man dressed in luxurious brocade stood with authority, but a lecherous smile appeared on his face. He said, I never expected that I would become the son of the emperor, the most noble bloodline of the ancient royal family. Could this be fate? His eyes rolled back, showing an obsessive expression. Miss Ruanmi, no, no. Now I am the emperor's son. He began recounting, since I was young, I wandered the streets, with nothing to cover my body and no food to eat. In this immortal world, the weak are devoured by the strong, and I had long prepared myself for death. He continued, it was Ruanmi who gave me the hope to live. Just as Ruanmi extended her hand, Soa Fan's dirty hand trembled as it caught hers. Returning to the present, he clenched his fist and said, that foolish Bai Liehu is not worthy of her, only I am the one who truly loves her. His disgusting expression made others feel sick. He said, I've already said it, sooner or later, she will be mine. Ha! The scene shifted to the Chongqing Gu family, surrounded by countless giant warships and spirit beasts. Someone shouted. The invincible immortal dynasty's troops have arrived, and the Chongqing royal family's troops have arrived. Many people flew toward the main hall, and many familiar faces appeared. Prince Chongqing, long time no see, a member of the Gu family said. We meet again. The people behind also cupped their hands and said, Brother Gu. Gu Chang'e cupped his hands in return, saying, everyone, welcome. Prince Qin asked, may I ask, Brother Gu, who is this? He glanced toward the side. Gu Chang'e also replied. Oh, this is my younger sister, who has been living with me since I was so poor that I couldn't even buy clothes. Gu Xianer stood to the side, gritting her teeth and saying, Gu Chang'e, you talk too much. The scene shifted to the main hall, where Yu Mingkong thought, looks like that clueless vixen is coming to stir things up again while I'm not around. She looked at Prince Qin and snorted, humph, cross-dressing, thinking I won't see through it. Ha ha ha, it's laughable. Gu Chang'e. But now I have reached the Supreme King realm, and I can easily tell who is a man and who is a woman just by sight. Suddenly, the goddess Gu Mu, the divine mother of the Taichu divine carriage, softly asked, Mingkong, what are you looking at? This startled her, and she nervously said, ah. Aunt, Mingkong was just looking at Chang'e. The goddess Gu Mu asked, are you looking at that woman? I have never heard of such a prodigy in the Chongqing royal family. I didn't expect her to be so young and already have the cultivation of the semi-saint realm. Yu Mingkong froze and thought, semi-saint realm? Prince Qin looked at the person in the upper seat and thought, oh, they noticed me. The goddess Gu Mu softly asked, could it be that Mingkong is jealous? Yu Mingkong hurriedly said, no, no, I trust Gu Chang'e very much. She gently stroked Yu Mingkong's ear and smiled, don't worry, with Gu Chang'e's current temperament, he might only have an ordinary relationship with that woman. Besides, you all are children I raised. Although Gu Chang'e. Yu Mingkong's heart tightened and she thought, wait, has Aunt already discovered the reason Gu Chang'e changed? The goddess Gu Mu gently stroked Yu Mingkong's hair and sighed, sigh, you've been through a lot all this time. Yu Mingkong also lowered her eyes and said, Aunt, this matter cannot be blamed on Chang'e. I misunderstood his good intentions before. These words surprised the goddess Gu Mu. She looked at the others and then said, Mingkong, do you know everything about the devil? Yu Mingkong said, Aunt, I already understand Gu Chang'e's thoughts. Then, the goddess Gu Mu tightly hugged Yu Mingkong and loudly said, as expected of my good daughter-in-law. I am truly relieved. Yu Mingkong screamed, ah. Aunt, I haven't even married yet. This surprised all the guests. The goddess Gu Mu hugged Yu Mingkong and said, isn't that just a matter of time? Yu Mingkong thought, then, what happened when I returned here half a year ago? Why did Gu Chang'e suddenly descend to the lower realm? Was it really just to seek opportunities? She said to the goddess Gu Mu, Aunt, I heard that when Chang'e went to the lower realm, he brought back 2 women. One is Lin Qiuhan, who is currently learning alchemy in the 4 extremes Pill sect. The other is Su Qing'e, who was sent to your side to cultivate. The goddess Gu Mu said, yes, that's true. What about it? Yu Mingkong asked, does Aunt know if these 2 women have any special characteristics? The goddess Gu Mu said, as for Lin Qiuhan, I am not sure. I only know that she was sent by Chang'e to the Pill sect. As for Su Qing'e, she is a rare person with 2 souls. In her past life, she was the arm of a devilish figure. I tried using secret methods to investigate her background, but her soul was shattered beyond recognition. So I couldn't find anything. Inside Su Qing'e, there are 2 souls, one good and one evil. Yu Mingkong turned her gaze away and thought, looks like my investigation was right. Gu Chang'e brought her along but never truly cared for her. Fortunately, she has already outlived her usefulness, once lost her value, she was discarded. Yu Mingkong looked at Gu Chang'e and the sons of heaven from various sects, thinking, in my past life, Gu Chang'e didn't bring anyone to the upper world. It seems something happened in this life that made him change. And this period just happens to be the time of my rebirth. Could it be because of me? Yi Lengtian spoke from outside, Brother Gu, the demonic arts have been causing trouble in the dark. Do you have any countermeasures? The winged man said, Brother Gu, after all, you are the only one who has fought against the heir of the demonic arts. Surely you have a way, unlike us, who are completely clueless. Gu Chang'e said with a serious expression, to not hide from everyone, this has always been something I've been puzzled about. That day, when I fought Yi Ling, although I heavily injured him, he still showed no fear in the end, as if someone was helping him from behind. And because I was seriously injured and couldn't chase him, I could only watch him escape helplessly. Gu Xiener. sighed nearby, thinking, sigh, this clothes are both expensive and plain, luckily it was paid for by Gu Changa. A bald man with large Buddha beads hanging around his neck shouted loudly, someone helping? Does Brother Gu mean that the heir of the demonic arts is not just Yi Ling? Gu Changa said with a solemn expression, based on my speculation, the heir of the demonic arts might not be an individual, there may be forces supporting him from behind. Yi Ling Tian frowned and thought, we should have realized earlier, every time the heir of the demonic arts appears, they disturb all realms. And bring suffering to living beings. But now the one who appears is Yi Ling, the golden-winged man said, so, what should we do now? This made Yi Liuli sigh heavily with a grim expression. The scene shifts to Wuliang Tian, where a group of monks were discussing, recently, Wuliang Tian has not had many beautiful women. A woman said nearby, young master, it might be because of the many evil deeds that happened in the Sea King Palace recently, which made those little fairies afraid to come. The young master sighed, sigh, so disappointing. Suddenly, a beautiful woman passed by, hiding her figure, and softly said, Gu Changa, and the heir of the demonic arts. The beauty looked at the entrance of the heavenly immortal palace, thinking, based on rumors and the situation at the time, the heir of the demonic arts and Gu Changa fought at the border of the ancient continent, and in the end, Yi Ling fled after being defeated. But past heirs of the demonic arts have never lost in one-on-one combat, their methods and trump cards are endless. Although Gu Changa is powerful and has the title of true immortal, claiming that he could single-handedly defeat the heir of the demonic arts, that seems a bit far-fetched. Also, Bai Lai, as the earliest victim, is talented, yet his fiancée, Ruan Mi, was able to stay by Yi Ling's side and remain safe. This probably wasn't just because the other was infatuated with her beauty. From this, it seems that the key issue is how naturally everything unfolded, as if someone had already written the script, and all the characters appearing were merely actors arranged by someone. She used light body techniques and stood atop a tall building, thinking, Yi Ling, as the core figure in this matter, seems to always be guided by someone. Ruan Mi's role in all of this is indispensable. Now, with her close relationship with Gu Changa, the mastermind behind it all may be Gu Changa. After all, the core of this entire affair, and the biggest beneficiary, is him. I just hope my guess is wrong, otherwise, the forces involved in this matter will be too terrifying. She frowned, thinking. Elsewhere, a large carriage was speeding along, the coachman constantly whipping the horses, and the sound of the whip echoed loudly. A woman with a seductive figure, large breasts, and pointed ears stood in front. She complained, So Fan, what's wrong with you recently? You can't even remember what spirit herbs Little Bai needs to eat. So Fan said, I got it, Chower sister, I won't forget next time. The woman angrily said, You better take this seriously. If it weren't for the young lady, you'd have no idea where you'd be starving to death. He was furious, his veins bulging, thinking, Today, I've fallen so low as to be scolded by a maid. If it were before, how dare this lowly maid speak to me like that? Now, not only has my soul been swapped, but the divine soul weapon my father personally forged for me is also gone. I'm no different from a cripple. Suddenly, he realized something and thought, no, I still have a chance. As long as I can come into contact with the beings of Tianhuang Mountain, I can prove my identity and expose that impostor. So Fan muttered, Tianhuang Mountain. The maid shouted angrily, So Fan, what are you mumbling about again? What's Tianhuang Mountain? Did a donkey kick your head? Is that the kind of place you can casually mention? She yelled, You still dare to dream of becoming the Tianhuang prince? Stop daydreaming. You must always remember your identity. Inside the sedan, Ruan Mi sat quietly, thinking, Tianhuang Mountain. This So Fan has been acting strange lately. Not only with odd behavior, but also constantly mentioning the ancient Tianhuang Mountain, the victorious Tianhuang. She smiled to herself, well, this is quite interesting. After meeting with the master, I can discuss it with him. The scene shifts again, a woman directly pushed the door open and shouted loudly, Brother, I heard you're about to make your appearance. The Tianhuang princess, Dan Yu, appeared and stepped inside. The blond man said, "What's wrong? Is there an issue?" Dan Yu replied, "But according to father's estimation, our time of emergence should be around the appearance of the road." She then held the blond man's arm and said, "But it's fine, if it's your decision, I will naturally follow." This left him speechless, not knowing what to say. He thought to himself, "Even the Empress of Heaven pales in comparison to you. When I was just a lackey, you were like the clouds in the sky, and I was the grass I could never reach." Returning to the past, the true Chu Fan looked at Yin Mi and thought, "Yin Mi, I know your feelings for me are not just out of pity. To me, you must be different." Yin Mi glanced back with a charming gaze. The true Chu Fan thought, "It's just that due to my past identity, you couldn't express much. I understand all of this." However, in reality, all that came to Yin Mi's mind was the image of Gu Changa holding her in a princess carry. The true Chu Fan thought, "It's almost time. I will soon stand before you, and untangle the knot in your heart. You want to restore the glory of the Celestial Fox clan? Then I'll help you achieve it. Because now, I have become the most noble person among the ancient myriad clans." Just as the true Chu Fan immersed himself in his fantasies, Dan Yu suddenly shook him and shouted, "Brother!" The true Chu Fan thought, "Gu family birthday banquet. Ener, wait for me." The scene switched to a location where many spaceships were docked in front of a massive portal, with many people coming and going. Gu Changa was welcoming the elites from various sects. Yu Mingkong and Gu Xiener stood aside. Yu Mingkong asked, "Xiener, what did you call me out for?" Gu Xiener said, "Mingkong's sister, today I investigated Gu Changa in the family, and it seems I really found some clues." This made Yu Mingkong pause, asking, "What?" Gu Xiener replied seriously, "Since Gu Changa was born, the midwife and those who knew about it have long since disappeared. Clearly, there is a hidden secret behind this." Yu Mingkong retorted, "Are you saying something really went wrong when Changa was born?" She thought about how Gu Changa possessed demonic power. "Except for my uncle and aunt, perhaps only. I know. But it's well known that demonic power is cultivated later and is actually the source of chaos in the world. What exactly are they hiding?" Her mind conjured an image of Gu Changa's ruthless face. Gu Xiener crossed her arms and said, I've always thought that when Changa spared my Dao bone, it was part of his plan, but it had to be done. He seemed to have an unspeakable reason. To me, he has many feelings of guilt." She frowned and thought, looking at it from another perspective, "He made me harbor resentment against him. And in the process, he showed me indifference, which must also be a form of tempering me." Yu Mingkong was shocked. And thought, "Xiener, if someone told you that you died tragically in your past life, would you still think this way?" Gu Xiener said, "But right now, I'm still far from being like him. He must be very disappointed." Suddenly, a notification appeared on the toolbar, "Attention, Xiener breakthrough, destiny value increased. Luck value raised." Gu Changa blurted out, "Xiener." This left the red spirit fairy opposite him stunned. Gu Xiener said, "Master once said that Gu Changa has an innate demonic nature, but later said that his actions were like a demon but not a demon." Yu Mingkong retorted, "Innate demonic nature? I think many things could be born with demonic traits, including innate demonic souls and innate demonic energy. What exactly influenced him to cultivate demonic power?" Suddenly, Gu Changa grabbed the shoulders of the two chatting women, smiling, "What bad things are you saying behind my back?" "Very well. I've been busy from start to finish, and you two are slacking off here." This startled Gu Xiener, who exclaimed, "Gu Changa." Immediately, Gu Xiener turned and left, sighing lightly, I have things to do, farewell." This left the two remaining speechless. Gu Changa leaned on Yu Mingkong and said, "Mingkong, now that the elites of all realms have gathered here, don't you intend to help your husband solve some problems?" Yu Mingkong's cheeks turned red, and she asked, "How should I help?" Gu Changa suddenly sighed. Now, the young elites of this generation have gathered here, but their strength is too weak. There is no suitable person to shoulder the responsibility. He gestured to Yu Mingkong. I'm afraid soon, the people from the Human Ancestor Hall will come looking for me. At that time. This made Yu Mingkong feel confused. But then, Gu Changa teased, if I die in battle, you'll become a widow. This made Yu Mingkong angry and say, you are the widow's head. Yu Mingkong said calmly, how could it be hard to find? Didn't she hint that there's a great person over there? This made Gu Changa also say, oh. From a distance, Wang Ziqin and Wang Wushuang also looked toward this side. Wang Wushuang said, sister, it seems like Gu brothers are looking at you. Wang Ziqin said, what's so surprising? Your sister's temperament is so outstanding, it's normal for Yu Mingkong to notice her. I just didn't expect her to be so generous. Yu Mingkong and Gu Changa both showed the same sinister expression and greeted the two. Yu Mingkong said, look, she is so suitable. Gu Changa replied, if it weren't for her background, she would indeed be very suitable. Yu Mingkong retorted, isn't her background the Wang family? Gu Changa placed his hands behind his back and softly said, Wang Ziqin, she is the heir of the Human Ancestor Palace. This greatly surprised Yu Mingkong. She exclaimed, what? The heir of the Human Ancestor Palace? In his mind, Gu Changa thought, it seems that in Mingkong's past memories, the heir of the Human Ancestor Palace was not Wang Ziqin, but someone else. Perhaps there is more than one heir. Yu Mingkong thought to herself, damn. The script of this life is diverging more and more, completely out of my control. She started counting on her fingers and said, Wang Ziqin won't work. Changa, you can consider dealing with those freaks from those regions. The immortal fox was once a great prodigy of the Vermilion Bird clan, the Sealed Fire Daozi, the Golden Qilin clan. Gu Changa sarcastically said, ah. Where did my kind-hearted Mingkong go? It seems you plan to conspire with me to do evil. This made Yu Mingkong's cheeks blush. Then, Gu Changa leaned close to her ear and whispered, I prefer you like this now. He then wrapped his arm around Yu Mingkong's shoulder and said, you don't need to worry about this. I have my ways to deal with it. Yu Mingkong nodded in agreement, but she thought, on the other hand, when will you fully confess to me and tell me the secret of your rebirth? There's a lot of rewards waiting for you. Scene changes, and a notification appears on the toolbar, activate, Child of Destiny, Mortal Soul. Possession of a stronger being. Gu Changa thought to himself, Mortal Soul possession of a stronger being? I've never seen the system mention this faction before. Could there be something special about it? He revealed a sinister smile and thought, perfect, I need you to carry some debts. A subordinate reported, young master, Mi from the Nine-Tailed Fox clan has arrived. Gu Changa placed his hands behind his back and said, oh, welcome her. This made Yu Mingkong next to him glare at him fiercely. Gu Changa sensed a dangerous aura approaching. He said, I often host guests. But in his heart, he thought, according to the system's calculations, the system usually reminds me when a child of destiny or related individuals appear near me. It seems that this chive has something to do with me. Gu Changa went out to greet her and said, Junior sister, you've traveled so far to attend the banquet, you must be exhausted. I am truly touched. Mi, accompanied by her attendants, walked forward and smiled lightly, it's rare for senior brother to care so much, I am also touched. She and her attendants cupped their hands and bowed, Mi greets senior brother. Gu Changa looked at her attendant and thought. Is it him? He really looks like an ordinary mortal. But I wonder what the real identity of the person whose body was possessed is. Mi asked, senior brother, is there something wrong? Gu Changa said calmly, nothing really. I just didn't expect that in this situation, junior sister would bring a mere servant with no cultivation. Looks like he is quite different from what I imagined. The prince, possessing the mortal body, thought, why did Gu Changa notice such a small character like me? He was sweating nervously, thinking, this person's reputation is not simple, being noticed by him is definitely not a good thing. Emi laughed and said, "Senior brother is overthinking. He volunteered to come along to help. I brought him out to see the world, which isn't bad." Gu Changa's purple eyes flashed slightly as he said, "Oh, looks like he is quite ambitious. Not bad." The prince's legs began to tremble, and he thought in fear, "Why does it feel like I've been completely seen through? The luck value above my head is only